about if women are treated worse in Twitch Pol. Yeah, no shit, they're treated worse. I'm gonna make damn sure of it tonight. Okay, I'm gonna join that voice chat. Let's go. Smeth heads. Oh, it looks like I'm the only one here. Wow. All right, all right.
Smeth.
Hold on.
Smeth.
Hello, hello. All right, I'm live. So if you say anything, naughty.
We're gonna say a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I plan on saying a lot of things too.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna press the button to turn my camera on and see if it crashes.
Mine definitely will, just so you guys
It did
know.
not.
Look at that.
Oh, wait, I didn't.
Nice.
Bosset strikes again.
That's such an anxious thing lately, like for the past few months.
Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought for a long time it was just me, and I looked really, really fucking ridiculous about it.
Hey, Beckett, tell your girlfriend to stop dicking around and come in here.
It actually is just you, Charlie.
Well, everybody else just pretending like they have that issue to
Yeah,
make me feel better.
they're gaslighting you.
You know what? I'm okay. Thank you guys for not making me feel so alone with this issue.
You're welcome.
I appreciate this one time only lie.
What about the Discord crashing when you're
Yeah.
No, like that's a shit ton of people. It's just Discord. Yeah. It really sucks to think it's you and you're embarrassed because everybody's like you join the call for the stream and then everybody's like you're letting everyone down, you know? It feels shitty, but it's fucking Discord. It's a shit ton of people having to.
It happened to me on the hotline and it crashed like 2 different times. And it was pretty much me like, all right, you need to get your shit together or we're just going to kick you. And I was just like, hi, it's not my fault. I'm doing my best, I promise. It was very embarrassing then.
Get Beckett pretending he has people to talk to.
The posturing, the actual physical posturing.
Look at him. Look, he's getting all into it. You know he's not talking to anybody.
Oh yeah, by the way, hey Chris. It's been a long time, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
I very much miss seeing you around, man. Talking to you.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting back to it now.
Wait a minute. What is this title?
Yeah, I brought Chris back to Twitch Pol. He left. I brought him back.
True. I would not be back here if not for Alexa.
Yeah, he was like, I'm done with this space. I hate it. And then he was like, and I convinced him. He's like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, I went to a bunch of different online communities and they were all just as fucking bad. So it is what it is at this point, you know?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. I got Alexa into Twitter. So,
You're
the one who did this?
Well, Twitter, yeah. But my philosophy is like, there's no good. You got to make a healthy place. We got to make it.
We're starting in the wrong spot, though, don't you think?
What do you mean?
If we're looking at making healthy online spaces, I feel like Twitch Pol is not the best place to start.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is a wholly healthy space.
Yeah,
it's super healthy. Listen. It's been regularly pointed out to me that I'm retarded, and that's helped my mental health no end. It's acceptance. Acceptance is an important part of this process.
We're waiting on Mindwaves, Stardust, and Sprout.
Hey, Beckett,
Mindwaves is coming?
Mindwaves retweeted my thing and said, hey, I'll come on. And then I was like, okay, can I come on?
So we're waiting for Mindwaves and Stardust. Beckett, why don't you just message your girlfriend and tell her to get in here? Also Stardust as well.
Well, you know, women always be running late, so
I'm glad Mindwaves is coming because I know he's gonna have some spicy opinions and he's gonna be willing to fight. So
all right,
this is the hardest kind of panel for me because I Well, I am genuinely a feminist. I love misogyny jokes. And my wife loves them, so I get constant reinforcement that they're good jokes to say.
What's up, guys?
So,
Hi, Mr. Mili.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah, how's it going?
women be like, choose.
Oh, so it's
Right?
absolutely fine to do man face now. Just taking on our stereotypes. Absolutely disgusting
What the
behavior.
fuck you talking about, bro?
I also don't know many people
Did
who
you
do
just
Beckett.
Did you
I mean,
just throw me with a
let's be real
I
though,
am a
Beckett.
man.
You don't get
Did you just
to
throw
you don't
me
get to
with
make
a
that.
fucking like
Don't be throwing your
Magnum
soy boy
PI
shit at me. What you
like
mean?
Magnum
What you mean?
PI mustache? I can't believe that you looked at Tuna Chip and said that was going to be your fucking cosplay.
Nice.
I didn't see your camera till just now. That's pretty good.
Also, I don't know why you're chatting shit, Beckett. Literally nobody in here is going to put the words man and Beckett in the same sentence. Like, what are you getting outraged for?
Really, VTuber?
Yeah.
Really? Is that what we're doing?
Wait, why the hate towards VTubers?
This
Why the
shit
hate
like
towards
this is why the
VTubers?
relationship between our fucking countries
He's spiteful because he thought if he shows his cam, then he's not going to get bullied for being ginger because he will own it. But
He's spiteful because he's jealous.
Well, don't you fucking start. Which one of the system is here joining us tonight?
Comma.
Oh fuck me, that's even worse.
We're all off to
Right,
a good
I'll
start.
unmute
I
on
can
my end,
already
just so
feel
everyone
the. I
knows.
can feel the
Right,
bubbly,
back
the
up.
bubbly,
Alex,
the bubbly, warm tinglies deep in my cockles of my heart, warming up.
Yeah,
from
we're
this-
starting in 5 minutes officially. So 5 more minutes.
Oh, okay, then I have time to go pee. I'll be right back.
There you go.
Classic.
Where does this banana pee from exactly?
You're
From the
legally
peel.
not allowed to ask that question.
It's
Damn
None
it.
of
the
your
banana's
fucking
root chakra.
business. None of your fucking business.
I think it is
What
my
you mean? I
business,
got a
banana.
I think it's everyone's business.
I don't know why
Inquiring
we.
minds want to know.
Who invited the bitchy banana? All right,
I did.
she's lucky. She's the cute banana.
That's funny.
Damn, immediately conceding. I see how it is.
Huh?
Immediately conceding.
Oh yeah, no, I'm the banana's bitch. I'm the bitch's bananas bitch.
Hey, hon.
We
Alex,
call my dog Banana. That's gonna crack me
where are
up
your
for the whole thing.
sunglasses?
It's awesome.
You bring them here.
Testing 1 2.
Miss Millie's doing.
Okay.
I'm gonna switch it over off of my starting soon screen. Is somebody else is already live, right?
I'm live.
Yeah,
I
I'm
am-
live. I
Okay.
think most of us are live. Yeah. Sprout.
Just want to make sure nobody had an expectation of privacy anymore.
Sprout, what do you have on your head, buddy?
The hat.
That is like so large. Why is it?
I mean, it's
He's got a
large.
massive forehead.
No, it's just. I mean, the hat has a massive forehead.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just a hat. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You think that it just elongates towards how long his forehead is?
Well, I think the point is that it fits.
That's true. How high up on your head is it, though? Like,
The top of my head's right there, just indented a little bit. I mean, this goes up pretty far, but like, it's just out further, I guess.
Yeah,
well,
trucker
you've been
hat.
outed with the big head.
It does.
You should see his ears.
I don't know where my hat's at. I usually wear my hat.
Trucker hats have a stronger part at the front that goes up more. So if you put this would like. See, like it's like.
Starting in 3 minutes.
I don't have a hat to put on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea where Mind Waves is. He said he was coming. So,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, but did he mean by that he's going to be here from the start to finish, or that he's going to hop on in at some point?
I literally have zero idea. He retweeted one of my tweets and said he wanted to come on. And then I added him on Discord and he said he was coming. So, as far as
If
I
we
know.
have everyone else, can we kind of just start and then he can just join in midway
Yeah,
through?
we'll start in 3 minutes officially. We're going to start at a nice even time, bitch.
Wow, can't even wait for the men. Brutal.
I told my audience.
Why am I
this
hearing
would start
Beckett
at
twice?
It's 7, and now
Yeah,
it's
someone's-
7:07.
I don't care, Smeth. I don't care. We're starting in 3 fucking minutes. Get over it.
Okay, well, to my audience, I'm gonna tell you I apologize on behalf of
Fuck your
Queen
audience. I
Alexa.
fuck all of you. Everyone, fuck you. Fuck you. I didn't want to do this panel. I was forced to. Everyone kept asking me to do this panel, so I did. I didn't even want to do it.
Really?
I've been
She wanted to
super
do it.
burned
Don't
out
let her
panels.
lie.
Oh, so what
She
you're saying
wanted
is
to
you're
do
a
it.
fucking
disagree with
pushover.
this. I think Alexa's grifting. I have never heard her not want to do a panel. She's just like, oh my god, a panel. We need to do
You
this.
know how many times I turn on shows? Do you know how many fucking DMs I
Yeah, never.
get per day? They're asking me to do, and I never go to them.
I disagree. I'm sorry. We're never going to agree on
Uh-huh.
this.
No,
I honestly
I
hope
like you.
that Alexa never.
As the person who's in your walls, I know that you don't turn down any panels. That's all I'm saying.
I wish I could clip my mic on just anger alone.
Yeah, I wish that I hope that Alexa never fixes her mic, to be honest. Because would it be Queen
I
Alexa
think that
without
Alexa's
her voice
mic is
going in and
beautiful.
out
It's
like
it's
consistently?
Yeah, it's just internet. It's just shit internet.
I think it's just a Wolfie icon people thing because Tama has the same issue with their mic. It goes out super randomly all the time. You two have the most
Yeah.
consistent mic issues of anybody I know.
Yeah, it's to protect
Well,
the
that's
yeah,
visual
mine is
and
weird.
the-
I will have you know. I
Yeah,
will have you
I
know.
live
We
in the
finally have
middle of
stable
nowhere.
internet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I live in the middle of nowhere, so I can't get good internet.
You ever tried
guys-
Starlink?
I can't.
You guys want to hear what it sounds like if I put my microphone inside of my mouth and then like hum?
No.
No.
Particularly.
So,
No.
like, I-
No, but I want to see you do it.
Why? Stop. Stop.
You
Why?
know, most people have to pay money for that, Smith.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I would pay money probably not to hear that.
Well,
You gotta pay up now.
I'm taking. I mean, I'm not doing it, so I'm giving you exactly
All right,
what you
here we go.
want.
It's 7:10. Now we're getting started. All right. Hi everyone. Welcome to the show. It's Political Shit Show. Queen Alexa. Are women treated worse than men in online spaces like Twitch Pol? Beckett, you go first.
Men are obviously treated worse. Look at the shit we have to put up with from women. It's a constant, never-ending nagging session about how fucking difficult everything is. No one asked you to be here. No one's forcing you to be here. And yet, constantly, this is all our fucking fault and problem. It's just, yeah, ridiculous. Men obviously have it harder, and all the burden is put on us.
He's brave when his banana's peeing.
Actually, it's
Don't
Stardust
say
here.
that.
Stardust, why don't you
Please.
go next? She's not here? Okay, she's not here. Okay, Drazi then.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit worse for women. Like, I think the best example that I can think of is that I've never had somebody pop into my chat just to call me fat in all caps and then fucking leave so they could laugh with their friends that they did that. And I'm pretty fat, so I think people are just mean to women in these spaces just to do it. It's like a sport. Other than that, it gets pretty nuanced. That's it.
All right, KrysSpeaks.
Yeah, I think that generally speaking, men and women are treated differently. Whether they're treated better or worse, by and large, will vary on a case-by-case basis. I think it's just extremely easy to go full retard and look at the areas and cases where some women do indeed have it easier and paint the whole conversation with a wide brush, while conveniently kind of just ignoring that for women, just like for men, really. For every single pro, there is a con, and for every single benefit, there's a consequence. This applies in real world, it applies in fucking online world, and it applies in Twitch Pol as well. Yeah, that's kind of it from me.
All right, Ginger.
The only times I've really had an issue on a panel is with other women. So, if we do have a harder time, it's because we're harder on each other.
Huh? Mr. Mili.
What's up, dude?
So,
What's up?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Give your opening statement.
Women just always be like complaining and bitching all the fucking time. So like they just need to like shut up and take it, right? Like they're just too sensitive. Yeah.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
Smeth, you go now.
I think that women have it a lot worse. I think they have it easier in some ways because we value men and women for different reasons. And because we value women for their bodies and their appearance, it's easier for a woman to take advantage of that and get like a boost, like just jiggling her boobs or whatever. And so that's easy, but like in the long run, like it's just not. Especially in Twitch Pol where we're talking about ideas and the idea of being a Giga Chad versus soy. Like soy is like feminizing hormones, and being a Giga Chad is being an alpha male, and to be seen as like a strong, like smart person is just seen as very masculine, and we don't really see women the same way generally. So I think that in general it is a lot harder, and I think women do it. It's not just men doing this to women, it's all of us.
All right, Stardust. She's still not
Wonderfully
here. God
stated.
fucking damn it.
Wonderfully stated.
All right, Tama, go.
Pro
right.
streamer.
I'm gonna give the controversial take. I think that men and women both have different problems in Twitch Pol. I think that women are capable of getting away with a lot of incredibly stupid takes that you would never see a man able to get away with just because they look good. And I think that a lot of men are able to get away with some absolute fucking by saying some absolutely deranged shit about women. I think that sometimes we care a lot more about women and don't notice the crazy shit that gets said about men. I think that like it's crazy to do this whole oppression Olympics of who's the most oppressed. Obviously, both sides are oppressed in different ways. And the fact that we are so much less in tune with what is happening to men is kind of a problem. We can do both.
All right, I want everybody's chat to watch this. Everyone who just said that both of these are equal parties and like there's a pro and a con to each side. They're going to specifically take one side. They're going to specifically take the woman's side, and that's the side they're going to take. The women have it much easier in Twitch Pol because even when there are issues with women on Twitch Pol, and there is issues, I'm not gonna say there's not issues, but there are issues. But when those issues come up, they have a bunch of people running to their rescue, running to help protect them from the issue that Twitch Pol is causing them. They have like this whole army that's ready to protect them at a moment's notice. When a issue's happening to a man on Twitch Pol, you don't get that. You don't get a whole army. You don't get any backing. You're left to deal with it by yourself. And that's just what you're left with. So just like in real life in Twitch Pol, a man has to take care of himself. He's not going to get any help from society, and he's certainly not going to get any help from anybody else.
Oh, Sprout,
Right,
do you want me to white knight for you?
Hold on. Actually, since fucking Stardust back, Stardust, now you get to make your opening statement.
Okay, so I have a couple of things to say. If that's the case, SprouticUs, I must not be a woman because good fucking god, I'm like the only exception. I feel every once in a while somebody will jump in, but for the most part, because I don't know what it is, what exactly about me it is, but people, I do not think white knight for me whatsoever, and I think we can all agree, or at least I think so. I get an inordinate amount of shit, and I don't get white knighted. But what I will say is in response to what Ginger said, and also I just want to say I'm not going to dispute you though that some women do get that treatment. I'm just not one of them. So in response to what Ginger said about women giving each other a hard time, there's actually feminist theory written about that because there are less spaces for women in specific industries. So women see each other as actual, like much more competitive with each other, and they feel like they have to tear each other down to get these limited amount of spaces. But what I would say is, yes, there are some ways in which women benefit online, specifically in like the Twitch sphere and streaming sphere. There is a higher floor for women, right? It is much easier to get started with a small audience. Yeah, I don't think anybody will deny that, right? It's much easier to get started. However, just like there is a higher floor, there's also a lower ceiling. So the opportunity for growth for women generally hits a certain level, and then it becomes very, very hard to break that level. You can look at the top earners on Twitch. Majority of them, 90% of them, are male. You don't even see a female until the second page, after 10. I would say that as far as like when we talk about who gets away with things, Sure, really good-looking people can get away with really stupid shit, and really dumb fucking takes and really stupid stuff, and especially good-looking women. But I think when you are not playing into this thing where you're trying to market your body or sell your image or anything like that, I think you do have a very, very hard time when you don't take advantage of that, when you're trying to just be a content creator without taking advantage of any of that. I think also women online just get a different type of hate than men do. And again, I won't dispute, there are ways in which men have it harder online, but
Try to wrap up your opening statement.
Yeah, shut up. They're just
She's
different.
great.
It's just different. It is just different. Yeah. And I think there are more ways in which once you get to certain levels of success, you will realize that mobs are a little bit more likely to go after female characters than for male characters. So.
All right, floor is open. Kill each other.
Okay.
Stardust. Can I ask Stardust real quick? It's going to be gone.
Because I want to actually address something you said, Drazi.
Yeah, let Beckett go. Let's let Beckett go.
You're tiny, and you're talking about the fact that nobody comes after you for anything.
That's not what I said. I said people don't come and pop by to tell me I'm fat. And since I said that, 4 people have stopped by to tell me I'm fat. So
yeah, well, you did.
I rescind that.
But at the same time, like when it comes to like getting abuse and things, like there is a universal factor to this. You randomly said one thing about your partner, and then while watching you, Cherry's like, "This motherfucker lied to me about his partner." Like there is so much random abuse that gets thrown around. It just gets called more with women.
But
that's not fair. You shouldn't use Cherry. You're just trying to attack women by using Cherry as an example.
What gender was his partner?
I don't know. I've never. Drazi, what gender's your partner?
What's the gender of your partner, Drazi?
Oh no, I'm trying not to speak for Drazi's partner. I'm Drazi. What gender is your partner?
My wife is a woman. She's much prettier than me.
So wait, if that's the case, does that mean that women like are more abusive to each other than like because it seems like Ginger said there's a lot of abuse from women.
It's part of feminist theory, right? Where like they talk about it. It's written about in academic literature that women who see each other as competitors will pull each other down more and they will be more brutal to each other. Women enforce
you women are catty.
They enforce toxicity towards each other.
So is the problem with Twitch Pol that we have too many women? If we had less, would this be a better space?
No.
I don't think that more or less is the solution here. I don't think more or less is the solution.
Okay, can I respond to Stardust opening statement now?
Yeah,
I'd really like to.
Same.
It's gonna get too far gone. Stardust, you said that if women have an advantage, you don't get any of those things that people talked about. You know why, right? There's like it seems to me is a pretty obvious reason why you don't get like additional like people like backing you up to support you and stuff. Do you have any idea why that is? Do you think it's just because you're a woman?
I don't know why. Yeah.
I think as far as women go in this space, you've shown yourself to be like you've like made it known that like you're tough, you can take the shit, like you can hang with like the toughest guys and you can take those punches. And I mean you've done things, you like went out of your way to like interview like really exceptionally controversial people. So like you're making it known like I can take the shit. Like, you don't have to hold back on me. You don't have to go easy on me. And I think that after a while, people are like, all right, I guess we're just going to fucking let you take the shit.
I had another reason in mind.
Wait.
One of the boys. What's up?
I think that
Can I
he
also
does
make
have,
a response?
I actually think that he... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Here,
let's
Ginger.
It actually makes complete sense that most of the highest performing channels are run by men, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a sexism that exists now. It's just that the longer that you are on Twitch, the longer you have to build up that kind of audience. And I'm sure that at first, because this was such an incredibly hostile space to women, like 10 years ago at least, I think it was 10 years ago or so.
It was as recent as 5 years ago. It was incredibly hostile.
Yeah, even 5 years ago. So if women haven't had enough time to like build up audiences, I would understand exactly why most of the top streamers are men, and it takes so long to get to an actual woman in there. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there's a current existing difficulty for women. It's just that they haven't had as long to benefit from the system.
That's a theory.
How long is Ninja?
That's a theory, but it's
how long has Ninja had though to create a following? Ninja's had quite a bit of time to create a following and to carry that following onto Twitch. Even before Twitch, I think he was on YouTube. For just as an example, Ninja's had that time. And I'm sure that he's considered one of the top earners. I don't have that list in front of me, so I can, of course, be fact checked on that. But I'm sure Ninja's one of the top earners. But the simple idea that, I mean, everyone continues to say women treat other women harsher, and they're causing more of the issue. They always they stand together though. Like it's a backwards dichotomy, to where they're going to treat each other harsher, but when an outside force comes in trying to impede on this person, they stand together, and that's something men just don't have. Men don't stand together. They don't give each other support. You're literally expected to do nothing and just be able to just take it.
Let me respond.
I understand.
Let me respond to that.
So I understand. I think I understand where you're coming from. It's just all of that was fucking horse shit. Like almost every word that you've said makes no fucking sense.
I want to actually respond to him without telling him it's horse shit.
To explain why it's horse shit, though, would that be acceptable?
I mean, I've got another panelist here who says it's not horse shit.
Right, but I actually wanted to respond to him.
Democracy. Let him give his point.
Yeah, he asked me a question. I answered his question.
I mean, don't men just like to watch pretty girls more often than, like, I mean, I want to watch pretty girls.
Chris, go ahead.
Right, Chris, go.
The problem of what you were saying, Sprout, is that, first of all, the assumption that you have is that women have it easy because they're going to have white knights jump in the fence is already part of the problem that we're talking about with the sexism. Because, like, you've got it,
not even white knights,
infantilized the shit out of them to a point where the expectation for you is that if there's a woman in the space, then there's going to be a whole bunch of people defending her. And the reason why you'll have cases of where women stand together when they're being attacked and men don't is because women get attacked usually in a much more specific way than men do. For men, the attacks tend to be directed at you as an individual. For Drazi, it's going to be the fact that he's fat as fuck. For Beckett, it's going to be the fact that he's ginger. For me, it's going to be the fact that I'm a VTuber. But when you're a woman in this space and somebody's attacking you, they will attack you over the fact that you're a woman. That's why for women, generally speaking, they will congregate together and they will defend one another because the attacks that are being slinged at them are slinged at all of them, not just one specific woman.
I've definitely never seen anyone attack a woman specifically for who that woman is. I've definitely never seen that. You're correct.
Yeah,
I've never heard that on Twitch ever. And then wait, I let you finish. No, I've got more. I did. I've got more to respond to. If you interrupt in the middle of my response, you don't hear my full response, so you don't know what more I have. You don't know what's going on. So now that so it's not wrong. Women have definitely been attacked for things that were specifically that women. Okay, now
that's not wrong. What's wrong is your assumption that I've said that women only get attacked for being women. Obviously, you're going to have individual cases of women being attacked for something individual. The point is that when you look at how they are treated, broadly speaking, you have to look at generalizations, and you don't need to go far to see that. You can go to a fucking Twitch, a prominent Twitch streamer who's going to have a woman on, and you will see Kumas being the emote being spammed in chat. You can go into any of the YouTube videos where a woman's featured on some debate panel, and if she's being fucking annoying, or if there's something wrong with what she's saying, the top comments are going to be something along the lines of, oh god, I love women so much, I just can't wait to hear more of women talking about this thing. Like, it happens all the fucking time. You have cases of people like Stardust being told that she should focus on singing instead of sharing her fucking dogshit political takes, or Erudite being accused that she only has a platform because she slept with Destiny. This isn't the thing that any man is accused of.
So now that I can give the second half, of my response,
I want to respond when you're done, because I want to actually talk to you.
That's fine.
The
simple idea that men aren't attacked for things that are generally across men is absolutely incorrect. Because I've to go back to the same thing idea, I've never seen a man cry on stream and be attacked for it. Not once. Not once have I seen chat attack a man for being emotional on stream. Not once have I ever seen that, because it's definitely not toxic like that. So like I'm using an example here, and I'm using an example there. The men are attacked for both things that are personal and things that go across men. Women are attacked for both things that are personal and that go across women. It's not just a single street, and it's it's definitely not when it comes to it definitely is a single street when it comes to women because they get support. Men don't get that type of support. Men are expected to just be able to deal with it. Men aren't able to kind of create this army to help defend them from what the hatred or the attacks that they're receiving. They're just expected to be able to take it and deal with it themselves because they're a man. This is perpetuated by both men and women and as a society as a whole.
Okay, I agree with you, and I deeply empathize and relate to your. I have this deep feeling of resentment or like jealousy of this thing that women have. But I think that they still have it worse. Women are both loved and hated more than men. People just don't care about men. But when people hate women, and people also love women, and when in any situation where people are white knighting women, there is even more people that are just doing the opposite, and they're like absolutely shitting on them. And that type of vitriol doesn't go after like people only recently like do like a few select men like get like canceled and like fixated hatred, like I don't know, like Louis C.K. or some shit like that. But like random women will get that. Like random men don't get that. People will actually fixate and be like obsessed with a woman.
Can we just be honest? Like any dude out there that's simping or like trying to white knight for a girl is just a beta cuck. Like, let's be honest.
Stardust said that nobody's white knighting for her, but I want a white knight for her. And I think the reason that you don't get
actually Smeth.
So you're claiming that you're a beta cuck.
Well,
okay,
I have
cool,
one. Okay, well, I have
great.
one thing I wanted to say, but you can take it what you. I think the reason that you don't get the benefits that people are saying that women get is because you don't do the like, you know, like showing your tits thing. You have respect for your body, and you're not doing that. And I think that people value women for very different reasons, and that's unfair to women.
Well, I mean, there's a few reasons why I feel like she might not get the same treatment. One of those is the reason why, you know, you keep yourself covered up, which is, you know, a good thing in this space because otherwise most of us don't get taken seriously. I don't really give a damn. You can treat me however you end up wanting to treat me. That's not going to change. The other thing is like Drazi said, you do put off this air that you don't need anybody defending you. Also, you do have white knight. You're kind of you're shortchanging yourself because you have plenty of white knights. You just don't see them as your own white knights. But they're there. I promise you.
They're in my chat, but I guarantee, like, I think that I am one of the few people in the space after Lav that gets like a whole lot of shit. And I think that I think that even when we talk about like people who like white knight for me, like in comparison to other content creators or even other female content creators, like the amount of white knighting that I get is like just not even comparable. You know, it's just not even comparable, which is like fine. I accept my place, right? I accept the situation I'm in.
Do you want more white knights? Do you want?
But I think specifically what we're talking about though is trends, right? There might be one-offs. There might be like this certain situations that don't follow the trend, right? But I think statistically we're following the line, not the one-offs that are outside of the line. I think that's the way we want to kind of like guide this conversation is the following the line.
Specifically, I'm sorry, Chris. I think that specifically in panels themselves that you're gonna find less people that white knight for you, Star, only because you have a handle on the situation and people feel like you can handle yourself. Like there are ways that being white knighted for just makes it harder to hold your head up in the panel situations. I mean, there were times where I was on huge panels, but I rarely got to talk because when I did, the people white knighting for me talked over me.
Yeah, I hated that. And so what I would say, like, I don't disagree, and I'm fine with it in panels, but I think like when you look at the larger space in general, like I think you can kind of see like little waves of like dissatisfaction or waves of like dislike or whatever for certain people, and you will sometimes
ladies, if you guys want a big strong man, I'm right here. I will help you. I will take care of all of those fucking cocks. I got you. Don't worry. Okay, right here.
So what I was saying was, you know, you like in the larger space. So, like panels, I'm okay with. Like you know, actually, you know, I do prefer to not be white knighted in panels because I want to speak my own words. But like, I would say in the larger space, like you'll see, like when you get to a certain size, when you get to a certain level, you'll get like waves of like people who hate you, or you'll get like community specifically who initially hate you, and you don't really like it, like I don't know, depending on the person you are, I guess sometimes you'll get people who will like push back on that, sometimes you'll get nothing, and yeah, it just really depends. So
Can I ask both of you guys a question, Ginger and Stardust, about the whole white knighting thing? So I'm a little curious.
Before you go there, because I don't want to get too lost on what Sprout said earlier, because I wanted to just give a quick response and then I'll shut the fuck up for a little bit so you can go wherever you really want to go.
Wait, you want to respond? You want to respond to Sprout?
Yeah. Which was
if I could ask my question real quick, if Sprout responds, my shit's gonna be gone. It's just a real quick question.
Just say it.
Yeah, I mean, fire away. I'm not the moderator. Yeah.
All right. I'm just curious. So if people try to white knight for you and you say you don't want it, do those people turn into fucking like crazy incel fucking ass bags immediately?
No, it's not.
No. Sorry.
I'm just curious.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, honestly, it's not that I even get a chance to be like, "Hey, chill out." It's more so like they'll talk over me and then like continue to speak, and then everybody else will continue to talk, and like it's not even worth saying because then it'll start something into being like, oh well, this is why women can't be in this space and stuff. So it's like
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
But it's not necessarily from the person that I'm saying it to. Like it's more or less from everybody else.
Oh.
For me, I think because I had to learn pretty early on, because when I first joined the space, there were not very many women. There was like maybe one other woman, or maybe one or two other women. And so when I joined the space, I had the problem where I would get bulldozed over, I get talked over quite a bit. I started picking fights with people who would like try to speak for me, and I would turn that into content. And so that kind of ended up being the way that I would like kind of force my way back into a panel, where I would start bickering with the person who thought they were helping me, and then everybody would laugh at it. But when it comes to like who is like kind of psychotic, I feel like I get more psychotic haters than I do like psychotic people who like me. But oftentimes the line between people who psychotically like you and psychotically hate you is very, very thin. So
yeah, people obsess over women. Like the thing is, like people are just so emotional about women in general, including women. Like people don't have that type. It's so much harder for people to find that fixation on a random dude. Like
we need love for men. We need more love for men.
I mean, it's just a different. It's just a different. It's just a different type of fixation, though. Because I mean, for the 2 years that I've been on death threats, I've gotten as much death. Sorry, for the 2 years I've been on Twitch, I've gotten as much death threats. So like I feel like it's a different type of fixation on men. You're not going to see like you're not going to see like the stalking fixation on men. You're not going to see that, but you are going to see towards men is more likely than death threats. You're gonna see threats of violence against men. You're gonna see this type of shit more often with men. It just based off of like the trend of just like hatred, right? And they're not afraid to kind of like say this outright. I've had this said on stream multiple times. I've been doxxed twice. Like I've had this said on stream, and Twitch did nothing about it. Twitch said like, fuck it, no, there's nothing wrong here. So the fixation on men is more so just based off of the idea that it's a different fixation that isn't being taken account for when you take on the fixation of men.
Okay, I have to disagree here. Wait.
I've been quiet this whole time. I've let the ladies speak. I've let the ladies speak.
Please, sir.
Fine, go ahead. Okay.
Please, sir. You're so strong and big, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks.
So this, I have to push back on this because I don't think we can objectively say that, Sprouticus. I think that when I first started streaming as a small person, when I was getting like 10 to 15 viewers, I had people coming in threatening to rape me, threatening to kill me. Even when I was like still kind of up and coming, I had people sending me pictures of dead bodies on Twitter. I had somebody who made my profile picture their profile picture and started replying to everything that I posted on Twitter with dead bodies, and started saying and would reply to everything that I said, calling me like I don't know, weird, like some imperialist, bitch or whatever. I don't know. So, and I've had people who tried to and thought they did dox me unsuccessfully. Just the other day, somebody was in my chat trying to intimidate me by saying that they know me because they went to high school with me when they clearly didn't. Right. So I don't think we can really objectively judge things like that. It really depends.
I don't know. I think a lot of this is outliers though. Like when we're talking about stuff like this, like no one's saying that the levels of like harassment that happen to women don't occur. But we're also like, this entire conversation is, well, how do the women feel? Like what's going on with you guys? And the part of the problem when we have these conversations is everyone goes, well, the space is so toxic for women. But the minute anyone puts a panel like this on, it's like fucking what are we at? Like an hour of just talking about how hard it is for women in the space? Most people are completely apathetic to.
Wait a minute, I haven't.
No, hold on. Let me finish. Like there is so much stuff that nobody gives a shit about when it happens to men. So much stuff doesn't get picked up. I get like comments. I get DMs. Like I've had DMs like, I hope your dead mother's getting raped in hell. I've had those DMs. I had those in like the first like.
Okay, I only did that twice.
And, like, I mean, fucking, including the shit Alexa says to me. It's fucking horrific. And the point is, like, everyone's going to get shit, but when it happens to women, it's much more of a story. There's much more of a generation, and for that reason as well, a lot more trolls.
Though.
No. Women respond in a way that panels like this fucking happen. And if you're a troll on the internet, that's a lot more enticing than a guy who's just going to ignore it. And a lot of this is to do with apathy. There are, frankly, more men, but a lot of them are a lot smaller. Less people care or give a shit. And when men do stick their head up above the parapet, it's not just, oh, she slapped somebody, she might have done this. Like, how many guys have just had random fucking like grooming allegations thrown at them? Or like are chased off the internet because they're accused of being a pedophile or something. And then when those threats come in, they're really fucking serious and like really like life ruination threats. It's
but Beckett, the problem that we have, the problem that I have with this is that the narrative that we often talk about when it comes to these things is just fucked. And the reason why I'm getting passionate about this is because the whole phrasing of this as men versus women that you have now started doing as well is flawed. I'm sympathetic to the struggles that you have described, or sympathetic to the struggles that Sprout has described, but do you think that women somehow gatekeep being supported out of malice?
No,
or maybe,
maybe.
Okay, hold on, just give me a second. Just maybe that as we're going fucking massive, undergoing massive societal and cultural shift, then just as men need to learn how to express their emotions better, or at all in many cases, women need to learn how to react to men sharing their emotions better, and other men need to learn how to react to men sharing their emotions better. Pitching this as men versus women narrative instead of like a mutual struggle, a mutual understandable struggle, does nobody any service. And the reason why we focused on men in here in particular is because the panel title for this is whether women are treated worse in Twitch Pol. If you want a panel on men's struggles, then you can reach out to Alexa and ask for a fucking panel on men's struggles. No, hold on. The reason why we're talking about this right now, I swear to God, I have two sentences. And then you can fire away.
Okay, fine. Go on.
Yeah, the reason why this panel is happening is because I have noticed a level of sexism in these online spaces, and I felt some type of way about it, and I wanted to bounce my feelings off of different content creators. So I have asked Alexa to do a panel on this. Now, I'm not having anyone going to hijack it because they want to explore a different topic.
The topic is literally are women treated worse than men? Men are included in the fucking topic.
I barely
like
spoke.
You're saying that I'm setting people against each other.
No, I have a
question. Just respond to Chris? Can I just respond to Chris? He asked me a question. Let me fucking respond. Chris, you said that I'm the one phrasing this as like women
Men versus women,
you're like
yeah.
you're saying men versus women. Well, if this is your panel fucking topic, then you're the one who said it in that phrasing. If the question is like, is there a mutual issue, then the panel isn't do women have it worse? It's, are there different kind of issues that women are facing, and do we need to discuss those? That's not the fucking panel topic.
Are women treated worse than men is the panel topic. Men are included in the panel topic. So don't come at me. Don't come at Beckett because we're bringing up the other half. Because we're bringing up the other half of the panel topic. You wanted a panel on this, so obviously there's going to be people who disagree. There's obviously going to be people who disagree and say that men are treated worse in Twitch Pol than women are, and you're upset because there's people disagreeing. If you want an echo chamber, go create yourself an echo chamber.
This isn't about an echo chamber. On the scale of 0 to 10 of how moronic you could have sounded, you fucking at an 11. The point here isn't that this is an echo chamber. The point was the point that I'm trying to make, or rather how I'm trying to have the conversation, is to not pitch it as men versus women, but rather these are the issues that women face in these spaces. These are the issues that men potentially face in these spaces. And how do we together can do something about it? Because it's a mutual struggle that we're trying to fix because we mutually exist in these spaces, instead of this being some sort of a fucking Olympics of struggle of I have it worse than you because I have a dick, or I have it worse than you because I have received a death threat.
You find out who has it worse. Yo, shut the fuck up. It's my turn to talk.
It's like the political shit show.
Yo, shut the fuck up.
You're a man. You're a man. Get your fucking elbows out. No.
Everybody
I'm not gonna white knight you. You're a man.
We're all trying to fight and trying to determine who's the biggest victim in this situation. How about instead of trying to do that, we just try and support each other more. Spread a little bit more love, dudes.
Okay, I know how to actually. I want to come back to. I will let you. You go. You haven't been talking.
Something I want to say is, so I've been watching the discourse that goes on Twitter, or that talks about some of these panels. If you ever have this kind of panel and the focus is on how oppressed men are in this space, and that's all you mean the panel topic is like, do men have it harder than women? You will get accused so fast of creating incel fuel. There is so much in this space that keeps any men from talking about issues. And like, one of the things is, I think that women's issues uniquely have way more visibility than men's issues. And that is absolutely an advantage when it comes to Twitch Pol, where you are capable of just the fact that you're like getting harassed, getting dragged on Twitter. You are capable of using that to bring attention to your brand, to finding more people to like actually fight in the trenches for you. I don't think that happens with men. And there is an argument for like, yes, men do have a larger trouble growing an audience when they're facing that kind of issue, where like they can never have a legitimate issue or concern.
I agree. I think that it's harder for like that. That's something I'm envious of, but also that sucks. Like going through drama and then that being like the way you grow and everybody fucking hating you. Like that's sure people will support you, but the only reason that happens is out of hatred. Beckett said something earlier I want to address that I think goes to the root of the actual conversation that I think that Chris wanted to get to. But when Beckett said that people will have this attitude about women, this fixation about women, and then he said women respond in a certain way that makes panels like this happen, I think that is the fallacy that makes people it's what way do you think women should respond that they're not doing that would not make this panel happen? What, should they just shut the fuck up and disappear?
No, they shouldn't disappear. But there's this is pretty well clarified in like media studies that actually like it's the Streisand effect. Like, again, if you want something to like go away and just not be an issue, you kind of can just like roll past it. Lots of women don't do that. And this is part of the problem. Like when a controversy kicks off for a lot of male streamers, what they do is they stream through it and keep going, keep making content.
So are you trying to tell the women to be quiet and shut up? Is that
No, I'm not actually. I'm trying to tell
men get told.
Like, no, hold on.
What?
You can see this with the Edwin drama right now. Edwin is in a load of fucking shit for stuff that's happened with Salvo, and they're continuing making content, and their audiences are continuing continuing to watch them because they can roll past it. What happens with a lot of women, like when we're looking at like the stuff that happened with Lav or even Cherry,
hey ladies,
is
he's telling you guys just to ignore it and to move on.
They disappeared. They stopped streaming, they cut things off, or they made everything about that controversy and drama.
But that happens with male content creators too.
Yeah,
male
and
content
it
creators.
fucks them
Wait. Male content creators who stop streaming have the same issue. Where if you stop streaming when you're going through a controversy, it's very hard to get back into it, and then you suffer. Your numbers suffer, and it's really hard to get back into your profession. Right?
I can tell you that. I can tell you that firsthand.
Hold on. No, Sprout, stop. That's the survivor's bias. The point is, men more commonly
don't let him get away with that.
No, men more commonly
I'm not even
streaming
allowed
through.
to like finish what I'm saying.
Well, I'm agreeing with you, but women do that less. So the question to me was, what should women do? And I'm saying that women should carry on doing it. Fine.
There are less women to do it, and then even the ones that do it, that roll past it, still get wave after wave, right? Still get wave after wave.
So the guys, though. So the guys, when controversy happened for Monday Matt, for the next 7 years, people were posting on his YouTube. Keemstar said that you were like condemned to 10 years of irrelevance. No one should be watching your stuff. His entire fucking comment sections were like that. So like the idea that like everyone can just roll past it isn't true, and it ignores the vast amounts of male like.
Most people can roll past it.
But the idea is that men are given the support to roll past it. Men are expected to roll past it by themselves. Men are expected to roll past it without the support of any other content creator. They're expected to be able to just take it like a man and to man up and just keep going. Like there's no sympathy.
Yeah, but Sprouts,
and they have support
women,
from other people.
Women are expected to roll past it by other men as well. If we
women
get
society tells us to do this. I don't have an issue with women.
Yes, so support your boys.
No. So wait,
me,
stop.
I support
Stop.
You, we can go
Stop.
Fucking
Stop.
happier.
I have supported more than you would expect. So the fact that this happens, I'm not going after women. I'm not saying this is just a women issue, right? I'm not saying that women have caused this issue. What I'm saying is society has caused this issue, and for it, men have a tougher time on Twitch Pol because they don't have the type of support that's needed. They don't have that type of support, right? They fall easily into depression. They fall easily into anxiety. But no support's given to them. They fall into this stuff without the support of other content creators because of the idea that men can take it. Men are by themselves. He's a man. He'll be able to figure it out by himself.
I need a moment here. I need a moment.
Okay, I want to go next. None of you fuckers say anything after she talks. Go.
What this sounds like to me is speculation. Unless we actually have data to back these things up, I don't think we can for sure say that men get support, that women get support and men don't. Because there are plenty of women who get relentlessly dogpiled and don't get support. And no matter what they do, every move that they do is put under a microscope. I don't think this is a really good way to handle this topic. It doesn't really, like, I'm starting to
Do you want the study?
Sure. You know what? Share to me about Twitch Pol. There's a study about Twitch Pol about.
No, it's more so in general. It's more so in general that men are more. It's
about men in media. Is about women in media.
So you're gonna make it very specific. Okay. Well,
no, it's not very specific.
It is very specific.
You are talking specifically about men and women in media. You cannot make a statement about men and women in media and start to use a study about general society for it. That's not how the way that it
general society rolls over to media.
The way that it works. I'm sorry. Let me finish what I'm fucking saying. All right?
Go ahead.
This is the most unproductive conversation I have ever seen. You are not going to get anywhere by saying, oh, men have it harder here, women have it harder here. You know what? I have my opinions. I don't give a fuck. But I don't think that you can objectively say that within media, men get this and women don't get that unless you have a specific study within media. It is not even useful to do that, right? like there are plenty of examples out there of people who don't get any fucking support because they're so fucking hated. I don't know where I'm going with this, but
Okay. Can I go?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that it's true, men don't get support. I think there's women that don't get support, but a lot of women get more support. And the advice to women where they should just, like let it roll past, kind of shut up, just kind of just bulldoze through it, like just like the men do, because men don't get support. So why don't you just do it like a man does it? Because men are resentful that women have that access to that support. And when women access that support, then we hate them even more for it. And it causes a cycle where we're like, oh, you're getting white knighted. Fuck you. And it pisses men off because we can't have that. And it makes us hate them. It makes us angry because it makes us sad because really. And, but the solution isn't for everybody to be ignored and get no support. The solution is for men to get more support and for us to not hate women when they get supported. I am jealous that women have that, but that's a good thing that they can stand up for themselves.
Okay, but
it is a very good thing.
We're talking about the ideals versus what the realities currently are. If your arguments are we should give women and men more support, yeah, I don't think anyone here is going to be like, yeah, no, fuck everybody. But the point is, when we're talking about the actual question of the panel of what's currently happening, it's not just about men not getting support. It's that when we're super fucking selective about when we're talking about certain kinds of controversy. People can bring up their own shit, but even for a female creator, Star is given way more shit than most female creators. Most creators generally. And it's, and just going, well, that's because she's a woman. There's clearly other elements at play there of why people have selected to that. Now, we can we could go the id poll route. We could say that there's an element of gender. We could say it's because of the content Star makes, or we could look at other content creators who followed similar paths and hit those points of controversy. But the point is, when you go that, if we're talking about this a general topic, of where women are coming from and why they end up getting the responses that they get, taking general media theory, not just true on Twitch Pol, but in multiple places in the media, when we're talking about stuff that happens in Hollywood, in television, in writing, in news journalism, and you can look at those examples of the way women behave and are socialized to behave versus the way their male counterparts behave, and how the public responds to that, because the public is socialized to respond in a particular way. That's just reality. I'm not disagreeing with you that we can't change things or strive for something better. But again, that's just again, if you want a panel of just going, hey guys, what are the ideas? That wasn't really the fucking panel topic. That's not, do women have it worse? That's, hey, how do we solve things? And I don't know if that's the forum or what anyone here fucking turned up for. So I don't know what your point is. Give me examples.
I'm saying
women who
that
have been cancelled for give me examples of women who have been cancelled for grooming and pedophilia.
No, sure that I mean there's probably some I could find, but obviously the more men are get shit for that.
Can you think of multiple men?
But that shouldn't. Why does that dismiss anything that women go through? What I'm saying that what I was trying to point out.
No.
Wait,
it's
hold
not
on.
about dismissing things that women have gone through. It's about the fact that acknowledging that things happen to both sides.
Okay,
that you're having this conversation.
I'm acknowledging. I just acknowledged it. But I was pointing. I acknowledged that happens to men way more than it happens to women. But the thing that I was pointing out a second ago is the expectation that women just let it happen is a fundamentally cruel thing. It's
yes.
The fact
media
that
is cruel. Media is fundamentally cruel.
The fact that you, me, and the Sprouticus, we all, when we see women standing up for themselves and getting support, it makes us feel sick. Because that's the problem.
What the fuck are you talking about?
No, it doesn't make me feel sick. I feel glad for them that they're getting support. As a matter of fact, I support them in the background. Yes, I do. Okay, text Maddie Cakes. Send Maddie Cakes a DM. Ask her what I've done for her. If you want to call me a liar, ask Maddie Cakes what I've done for her. Now, moving forward, I'm glad that they're getting support. I'm glad that they had that kind of support system. I only ask in return that men get the same shit. but we don't.
Right, and that's why you're mad.
Mr. Gull,
That's why
It sounded like this whole time, dude. It
Can we
sounded like
just
the
have a
whole
show of
time that you were
class?
just bitching about women.
Has
Let's
Mr.
be
Gull-
honest,
No,
it
no,
sounded
hold
like
on.
you
I'm
were
not bitching about women. I'm
No,
bitching
he's
about
not bitching
society.
The way you
No.
presented your
Can we
argument
have-
came off that way. So either get smarter, okay, or clear up what the fuck you're
I've
trying to say.
I've said at least 3 times. This is a society issue, not a women issue, not a male issue. This is a society issue. Society has placed this role upon men, and men have just been expected to deal with it. Right? This is a societal issue. Men are just as guilty as putting us on other men as women are. It's not a gender issue when it comes to men and the lack of support. It is a societal issue, and it is upon both genders to understand that and to be able to work with that.
But it's a
I've said it
societal
4 times
gendered
now.
issue. Like men, people, we have different expectations, and we treat men and women differently. The fact that women get that kind of support and get that kind of hate is something that's different. Like men don't get that, and I respect you. We need more people like you, that like men that'll like stand up for themselves. But I don't think you have to you don't. I don't think you have to be up. Just don't stand up for yourself in the context of when women are standing up for themselves and being. See, I don't get that, and like it just.
I'm not doing that.
But that's.
No, wait, stop. I actively participate in the support.
Sure.
What I'm saying is I've actively participated in the support for men too. What I'm saying is society as a whole needs to transfer that support over to men as well.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, then you agree with my entire statement.
Yeah, but so the reason I'm not saying that you don't actually support women. Like, I have no reason to think that you don't actually support women. I'm saying that when we're talking about like general like problems that women face, then you're saying, but men are treated like this. But like that, like it is there. We do treat women and men differently. So you're detracting from the conversation about
men. No. I'm not detracting from the conversation. I'm going to give the topic because it seems like the topic is very misunderstood by the entire panel. The topic was, are women treated worse than men in Twitch Pol? That was the topic that was handed to me. I'm sorry if yours' topic was different. That was the topic that I showed up for. Okay. So are women treated worse than men in Twitch Pol? I'm saying no. Men are treated worse. Now, even if men get less hatred, less attacks, they're left with no support, or very minimal support at that. So when you take into consideration support versus hatred, now if this was a question of are women hated more than men in Twitch Pol, yes, I don't think that's even really a question.
Okay.
But at the same time, men are lacking that support. So are men treated worse? Yes, because we're lacking the support.
Well, it depends on where. Like, I agree with that. I think it depends on where you put the value, because I think women have it easier. Like Star said earlier, like women can grow faster, like earlier on. So women have it easier in certain ways, and people generally men have to really prove themselves like a lot more, because the people don't care about like our bodies or anything. We're not objectified in the same way. We have to work hard to become an object for people to consume. But I think worse, when I say worse, I think emotionally worse, because just starting streaming and nobody caring is different from starting streaming and then like everybody hates you and then some people like support you, but then it makes more people hate you. I think even though that's better for growth, which personally I would prefer, I just think it acts for most people, it's not great.
What about starting streaming and getting doxxed and no one really giving a fuck? What about that?
That would be awesome. I wouldn't want that.
Just very quickly.
Sure.
Just very quickly. Can we just actually, like, there is a huge loneliness epidemic. We have a huge incel crisis. Do you not think like apathy towards people generally, not even just like as a man-woman thing, but like the effects of apathy, especially when we're doing something like this, which is clearly howling into the fucking void for someone to take a notice of our opinions, can actually have some really detrimental effects. Lots of content creators and people on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook all over the place go fucking crazy because nobody will pay attention to them. Like, the content becomes more and more radical as they realize that no one's doing anything. So the idea that apathy is like just something that we're able to deal with, I don't think holds water. Like when we're looking at kind of society generally.
I couldn't disagree more. I think that if you want to get emotional support from your audience, or I think that you're fucked. You need to get your emotional support elsewhere. Your audience can't be the ones like you
Sure,
can't
sure, I
be
agree.
thriving
No,
off
no,
of that.
sure,
It's a bad move.
Sure, but that's not my point. My point is the effects of apathy, which
No,
are
yeah, but
well
the apathy,
studied.
that only apathy that should matter is the people that you're actually like investing like stock in, like that you should care about, the people in your life, your family, your friends,
but
not your
that's not
audience.
true of fucking content creators.
What about the apathy of other streamers?
Yeah, if you're a content creator and you only care, you should only care like other streamers. We might be a little friendly, we might be friends, but we're also colleagues, so it's different.
Coworkers, right? So what about the apathy of coworkers? You think that coworkers should have no apathy, but just because they're coworkers, is it that different?
Yeah, I think that the love that you have for coworkers is not. It can never like it's. There's always this weird dynamic between you. Like you're there. You're friends because you have a job. Like if your relationship lasts after you work at that job, like then it's different. But like. Yeah, I don't find it hard to network with other streamers as a guy.
I don't know if I fucking buy some of this shit, because you literally had a conversation with Mr. Girl where you would like messaging him in one of the channels about how you like DM members of your audience, and he said that was a bad idea. So now you're sat here saying
I don't DM members of my
Yikers.
audience. I have a Discord and I chat in my Discord and stuff.
Okay, so you're still building those relationships, though, aren't they? They clearly have value to you, because there are plenty of content creators who don't do that. They close down their own Discord.
I have a weird situation where I was like friends with a lot of these people like on Discord before I started streaming, and so like now like I have like a chunk of like people that are fans of me that also like I had invested sort of friendship, and it's very weird. It's a very weird situation.
What about the weird situation? What about the weird situation where you don't have family, right?
That's bad.
Your family does. Your family. Wait, no. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. What? I understand that. 1 second, please. What about the situation where you don't have family, right? You don't have a family that supports you, right? And you've worked closely with other streamers, and these streamers have become what you consider to be personal friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I would expect apathy from personal friends, from other streamers that I've worked closely with, than just to watch on the sidelines. Would you disagree? Because you see other streamers stand up, you see other female streamers stand up for females. What you don't see,
you know what,
is other male streamers stand up for males, at least not on the same scale.
You know what? I'll stand up for you.
Can I interject here just for like a moment? I think probably the best advice I can give to people is don't expect anything out of anybody who is in the space as a content creator. They don't give a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck really about what you're going through. Nobody gives a fuck about like what you're dealing with. You are going to be way less disappointed and way less jaded if you just go from the get-go and remember that none of these people give a fuck about you. I think it would be nice. I support men. I think men should get more support. I think Sprouticus has a great point there. But at the end of the day, men and women, we're all just going to be happier if we're in this space and we know that none of these other content creators really give a fuck about you, and they're going to backstab you the moment that they get the chance. That's it.
Can I just I want to build up on that a little bit, because obviously I agree with everything that Stardust just said, but like I want to take it a slightly different route, because being part of a community or a friendship like that is a two-way street. Now I can consider you a friend, but if I have no fucking idea that I'm apparently the only emotional support that you hope to have access to in life, I am entitled to feel some type of way about it when I do find out. Like I have a family IRL that I have to provide for and support the other 22 hours a day when I'm not streaming, and it's not fair to be expected that I have formed some fucking profound bond with any of you because we share DMs. Like I understand that we might be starved for support, but that just ain't it, Chief.
That's not what I said. I said that people that you work closely with, your personal friends, right? It's not just watched on the sidelines. That it's participated. That you're given support. I don't care if it's through DMs. Men oftentimes don't receive support through fucking DMs, let alone comments, let alone retweets, let alone anything, right? at least on the same scale. The men are not given the same kind of support. We're not.
I mean, I can only
this is just statistical truth.
I understand. Just one thing, and I'll because I understand that I'm fucking hogging a lot of the stream time. But can we also talk about, because we're framing this in a very specific way where women get this type of support and men don't get this type of support, and that is bad that men don't get this type of support. Now, I don't think anyone here disagrees that it's bad if men don't get this type of support, but can we talk about all the fucking multitudes of situations where you're a woman and you get support in the DMs, not because somebody actually gives a fuck about how you're feeling, because they hope that in some fucking delusion they formed in their head, you might send them a titty pic at some point.
Or you just get unsolicited, you just get an unsolicited dick pic. But I would say again, like once again, I can't speak to the other females in this space's experiences, but I do not get those DMs that often. I do not get personal DMs, of support very often. And I don't expect it. And I think, I think when you don't expect it from people, you're just going to be much more satisfied. It's great if you're able to form relationships with like coworkers here, but let me tell you, like, streamers are fucking psychotic. You shouldn't.
Okay, hold on. I'm so sorry, but I really have not spoken in this whole time. So, I have gotten that support in my DMs, and the kind of support that I get is, oh, how are you doing? Let me see your tits. Like, the white knighting goes as far as on the panels and what you see in the chat. And then as soon as they're in my DMs, let me see your nipples, let me see you touch yourself. Will you answer these questions? You don't have to say anything in chat. Just answer 1 for yes and 2 for no, and do this for me, and can you bat your eyelashes like this for me and smile like this, and maybe move your shoulders a little like this for me, because that's what I want to see. Like, those are the DMs that we get.
Is that chat?
That's
or is
chat
that coworkers?
and
is that other streamers?
Yes.
Then blast them. Then blast them. Take a picture of the fucking DM and blast the fuck out of them. Because what you're going to... No, wait. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. Because what you're going to get when you blast the fuck out of them on Twitter is you're going to get a bunch of people coming to your support saying that was wrong. And they're going to... The entire internet is going to demand a public apology.
Internet to demand an apology.
Wait, guys.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
I haven't had a chance.
He's
right. We have to dispel something really quickly. We have to dispel something really quickly here.
Oh my God.
The idea that if you screenshot somebody bothering you in the DMs and post it on Twitter and everybody's going to give a fuck about it, that is not true.
They're not.
We've seen this happen. We've seen this happen with people who've been real life harassed. How does that benefit them? How do they get any benefit from that? They don't. And if you post about like has somebody harassing you on Twitter or sexually harassing you, it's kind of more like why are you complaining about this? You're being such, you're being kind of like, why are you being so hyper about this? Who really cares?
Right.
It's the internet.
Okay, all right. I'd like an opportunity. Hang on, Smeth. Hang on. I want an opportunity to speak
as a woman.
Okay. Yeah, now as a woman, right? Miss Mili now, not Mr. Mili. Hi, hello. No, recently I was on a panel and had blatant sexual harassment. Nothing happened. Nobody did a goddamn thing. It didn't turn into anything. And you know what I was told? Keep quiet about it. Don't say anything. Don't go and put it up on Twitter. Don't tell anybody about it. And I'm not going to say what panel or who it was, because I don't want it to be, I personally don't want it to be a big issue, but I know the reason why I don't want it to be a big issue is because if I did share it, you know what's going to happen? Oh, well, you dress inappropriately, or your tits were out, or you were just asking for it.
Maybe from a bunch, maybe from a bunch of people that don't. Maybe from a bunch of people that don't matter, right?
No.
Streamers. Wait 1 second.
I'm not a person that likes to go out and flaunt, whatever I've got. But regardless of that, it's the instant come into the chat and, hey, baby, how are you? I'm a married woman. Get the fuck off me. You don't know who I am. You don't treat people like that. Most men, whenever they get people in their chat, it's, yo, dude, what's up? Oh, I really like this game, this, that, and the other thing. When a new person comes into my chat, it's, oh, babe, I'm going to follow you because you got big tits.
Let me
because
tell you,
I haven't been able.
Wait. Let me tell you something from personal experience. from somebody who never even tried to make a Me Too-ish kind of accusation, but it got misconstrued into a Me Too-ish accusation, it does not benefit you. It does not benefit you, even if you're in the right. It does not benefit you.
Well, okay, wait. I want to speak to what he's right about. Okay, so if you do that, if you take the screenshot of the DM or whatever and you blast it, people will care, but a lot of people will hate you, and that's what I'm trying to like. I want to convince you of Sprouticus. I know I won't fucking convince you, but like. Yeah, people will care, and people, if you're a man and you do that, people won't care. But offset by the fact that people will care is a massive amount of people that will really hate you. Like you'll get
the Me Too pendulum has swung in the other direction. There was a point online where maybe people would take it seriously or for like 5 minutes, but now we have reached a point in the online sphere where right now you can see it's trendy to dunk on women online and making any type of accusation that is Me Too-ish in any sort of way, or even comes close to it, will fucking bury you and can end your career.
Okay. You're right. You're right, but I just want to point out one little thing here, just from a separate perspective, because I don't disagree with you that this stuff's fucked up, but there is also equivalents to this that happen on the other side. It like every time that you like or any woman like gets those kind of comments, or like open and only fan comments, or there's comments against like people's partners and stuff, there is also like tons of fucking comments towards their male partners of "you're a cuck." In this fucking panel, the comments from Smeth immediately, "Oh, I want to white knight you. I want to white knight you." Motherfucker, I'm sat right fucking here. Maybe you should shut the fuck up and have a little respect.
Fuck
like,
you.
If we're being
I have
like,
no
honest
respect for you.
about like, no. If we're being honest about how people behave, like people want to come here and like virtue signal about shit, but then like people will still like go off and like say their own little shit and then be like, "Oh, aren't I doing the good job?" But like you clearly lack respect for other people's relationships. Multiple people do, and we don't talk about that either. There were multiple things that have happened that are like entirely fucked, that wouldn't be acceptable in normal offline discourse. But that doesn't speak to, like, again, going back to Chris's point, there are multiple things that we should probably deal with and pick up on that we don't. We can be better at those, but like just being like focused entirely on one side, and maybe like the panel topic's a bad like title then. If anything, if that's the takeaway, it's a shitty title to give to it because it's going to drive the like conversation in one particular direction.
The simple idea that like, streamers can't blacklist people. I've seen streamers blacklist people like that. Just boom, they reach out to all their contents. This person's blacklisted. They're not allowed on any panel. They're not allowed to promote their shit anymore.
Are you talking about commenters? Are you talking about people like in chat? I just want to make it clear.
I'm more so talking about coworkers.
But why are we why are we doing that to people though?
If I were to go around,
well, I don't know if I go into any other female streamers. If I go into other female streamers and ask to see a picture of their fucking tits, I expect to be blacklisted.
I have a counter to this. To the person that came, for context, I hopped on a panel, and the immediate thing that was said is they went a shit brain, and they were screaming at the top of their lungs, "Holy fuck, those are giant mommy milkers. I want those. You've got massive boobas," right? If nothing happened, but now if I were to go around to other streamers, coworkers, right? Whatever we want to fucking call them, colleagues, and I'd be like, "Hey, blacklist them." They're gonna be like, "Why?" And then it comes off like because the VOD's not up there. I don't have a clip of it, and if I don't have any evidence of it now, right? They're gonna be like, "Oh, well, you're just this could just be false. You're just making shit up. This, that, and the other thing." What do I do?
I think it depends on how it like what type of influence. It's like warring nations. Like it's like what groups of friends you have. You know, like it's like NATO versus like, you know, like there'll be different cliques and stuff. And if your clique is invested in like what you have to say, I think it can work. But if you're like on your own and you do that and you just go to somebody and you don't have like that kind of like happening behind you, then no.
Well, I mean, the only way to stop any of that is to police actions. We can't do that. And so the only thing we can do is just accept the fact that it's going to happen, block the people that do it, and move along.
Well, here's a perfect example. Katarana and Prime. When Katarana came out on Dylan's stream and brought out the allegations,
I have no idea what happened there.
That's fine. Every streamer that was around during that time took Katarana aside, or most streamers, we took Katarana aside and went against Prime. Now, when we looked further into the issue, we all had to apologize, including myself, right?
I think
we all had to
Zonia and I were the
apologize
only
because
ones-
we figured out, like, you know what, shit wasn't right.
Well, I think Zonia and I were like the two of the only people on that all-female panel that were like, okay, this is going a little too far, and then we both were like dropped from that. But it's weird because it's so funny because I started off my Twitch streaming career being one of the few people like pushing back on things like that. And it doesn't matter like what I do, I'm pushed back multiple times on multiple allegations. For some reason, people just think I'm like this radical feminist who's like believe all women all the time. I mean, I am a radical feminist, but I'm not believe all women, all the time. So yeah, it's weird.
People have told me that I'm a feminist because I believe in man and women equality, right? But
yeah,
what I don't think is I'm not a fourth wave feminist. Like I think that men and women deserve to be equal. I don't think that there's a difference between our worth. I don't think there's a difference in when we like how we should be treated. I don't think any of that. What I think is that men have been suffering issues for a very long time. Now, it's just been recently noticed that we've been suffering these issues, right? But men have been suffering these issues for a very long time, and it's being left in the dust. And even when Chris decides to talk about the topic that he gave Alexa and how it should be about how women are treated on Twitch, yada yada yada, the simple idea that men's struggles are being left in the dust because no one cares about men's struggles. Right, you might
Everyone cares about men's struggles.
You might see like one panel, right, here and there. But I've seen multitudes of panels about women on Twitch, women in media, women on streaming. I've seen multitudes of panels on this. And just recently have I started to see men's panels.
I don't buy it anymore. Okay, if you had caught me 5 or 6 years ago when I was still fucking high on the alt-right thoughts, I would have been with you 100% and like nobody gives a fuck about men. Nobody wants to talk about men's issues. It's only women. But I just don't fucking buy that anymore.
I'm not high on the far right.
Where we can have these conversations and where we do have these conversations. If you want to have more of them, you can have more of them. You can literally do that.
Oh, I'm going to have a podcast on it because I don't think it's talked about enough.
That's fucking brilliant.
I have a question. Okay. We say that we see all these panels about, women in the Twitch Pol space or women in the online space, right? How many of those panels are still dominated primarily by men?
I mean, even
of the panel hosting?
This one is too. I mean,
the panel hosting?
No, just in general, how many people are men in panels versus how many women are actually in the panels discussing women. It's like it would
fine,
be
but how many...
No, hold on.
Okay.
It would be like Prime having his all black everything, but not having anybody black on his panel. Like it's ridiculous. Like how are you gonna have women discussions without women on them, and there are barely any women in the discussions.
Right, I agree. If you're gonna have a conversation like this, it needs to be equally spread out. But the fact that we have 9 people here,
I'm not talking about which,
and the fact that you said even this one, so the fact that we have 9 people here, and 2 people have been standing up for men's issues, and have been just effortlessly. I can't pronounce that word, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Effortlessly is him trying to pronounce that word.
Effortlessly. Just left in the dust. And there's 2 men on this panel trying to bring this issue up and consistently shut down.
Sprouticus,
what does that tell everybody else?
I have agreed with...
Hold on.
Just to point out, just quickly, this isn't a panel on women and feminism. This is a panel on are women treated worse than men. It's not if the topic was just, hey, women, or a pure feminist panel, then I'd understand. But I think the criticism of having men here on a topic that involves men isn't really valid.
No,
And
but that's
secondly,
not the criticism. The criticism is about he was specifically talking about panels on women's issues. My response to that, wait, no, you are misconstruing me.
Sure.
My response to that was that how many of those panels specifically about female issues have majority men on them, and that is a valid point. You cannot bring this panel into that. This is
okay. I missed that. And Ginger Raymond added this panel in. So
I literally had one.
Yeah, but again, it's a vast minority, isn't it? Because actually, what men get is the red pill movement, and people like pushing the incel narrative.
Okay, but you realize if 30% of the women had panels on men's topics, it would still be the minority of panels. Like even if all the women were to have topics on male panels, it would still be the minority of the panels that are happening on Twitch. But I'm to say that that the two men that are discussing the male plight here are getting railroaded. Well, yeah, because literally.
Okay, do you want to know the reason that there aren't that many feminist panels or content creators anymore? Is like a direct thing. It's because the content dried up. It's because because people stopped watching it. It's because when like there was a period in time in the early 2010s where you had people like Anita Sarkeesian, Zoe Quinn, Lacey Green, Frankie from MTV, multiple highly feminist content creators, places like Vice, BuzzFeed, Huffington Post, who are laying off their workers because it's not that those things didn't exist, it's that things have a content mill to them, and people have stopped watching. So if the criticism is like, well, no one's talking about this anymore, well, no one's having fucking panels on atheism anymore. It's because there's not an audience for it.
Beckett, the problem, if I understood Ramoth correctly, and this is the same issue that I'm having right now, I don't have a large issue with there being more men than women in these panels, generally speaking, because there are more men than there are women on this platform. I have a problem with the fact that these panels always turn into a fucking whataboutism for men's issues that are usually dominated by men who really want to talk about it. And we haven't addressed things like fucking ironic sexism in this space that vast majority of content creators apparently enjoy, that we've even fucking touched on briefly before the panel started, of saying how much we enjoy doing it. We haven't addressed incely white knighting. We've merely fucking mentioned the glass ceiling that women face in these spaces because we're still fucking talking about how men need more support, which nobody here disagrees with.
Right. We're agreeing with that.
I call out. No.
Hold on. We're agreeing. Me and Chris are both agreeing like that about the men's issues things. Like, so why are we still talking about it? Nobody's shutting it down.
Exactly. Thank you.
Nobody is shutting it down.
If I wasn't getting responded to and going against, then we wouldn't still be talking about it. But even though we're still here, it's because I keep getting going against and talk to, right? So there's obviously people who disagree.
The things I'm saying are not inaccurate, though. The pendulum has swung back. All the hot content right now is dunking on women content. It is the in trend. If you want to explode really quickly as a male content creator, or even as a female content creator, it is trendy to start dunking on women. Look at Pearly Things. She went from like 5K subscribers to like over 100K in 1 year. It is really, really in right now. I'm sorry, the manosphere is booming. I am not disputing that men in society get less support, right? But if we're talking about men and women in media right now, and we're talking about men and women in the online space and online media, it is a different thing that we're talking about when it comes to like support and harassment and things like that. It is super complicated. There are trends. There's a pendulum that swings back and forth, and at the end of the day, I think we have to control our expectations. And one of those expectations that I had to learn pretty quickly is that nobody is really your friend here. If they're a content creator, everybody's psychotic. Don't trust anybody because bitches be crazy. And even the people that you trust, that you think you can trust, will stab you in the back eventually.
Here's the thing. Even though we have Pearly Things, even though we have, I forget what the other content creator is, but something Army. I think it's her first name and then Army. Even though we have these things, right? It's not taking an effect on society. Society isn't taking these things to heart. It's not taking an effect. We may have these like these little podcasts, these little videos. You know, you should feel better because we have videos about you. We have this whole idea, right? But it's not taking an effect on society. Society doesn't give a fuck. It's obvious this far, right? There needs to be a shift
you said the
in
same
society.
Thing. Okay, the thing, you're half right.
It's very clear that it's not the case. Andrew Tate is the biggest content creator right now, or one of the biggest figures online right now, for a reason.
But wait, but the point I want to make about this overall conversation you guys are talking about is the pendulum we're talking about is just the attention marketplace for content, but it doesn't actually address if things are actually changing. It just addresses what's marketable and what people want to watch. Still, regardless, things. So you're right. It's things that aren't changing, but that's not like a symptom of like when we're talking about women, things don't change, and when we're talking about men, things don't change.
If I may. I've heard everything that everybody's saying, but I think if you want any of this shit to change, I think the best thing that I can say is to respond to what Stardust says. You said nobody really cares about you. Nobody here is your friend. Nobody DMs men. I don't think it's true. I have DM'd every single person that I've ever interacted with on this space when I've seen that they've been going through something, and I've talked to them about whatever it is that they're going through. If you think that this is a problem, you can do this. There's nothing stopping anybody from reaching out to anybody, man or woman, and seeing if they're doing okay, see what's going on with them. I'm just saying, there's a bunch of people right here who have issues with this stuff, and they're just complaining about these. Like, we can talk about what we could do about it. Also, we could talk about if we think that women are treated worse than men and talk about solutions to that. But like, we just keep bouncing around with like all the fucking petty gripes and bitches that we have about every aspect of like men versus women, when instead we could actually be talking about how to make it better.
Elder, I've got a question for you. Either time I was doxxed or either time I was given a death threat, did you hear about it?
I didn't. That's terrifying.
It's because I'm a smaller streamer. It didn't get the publicity. Right,
but if I had, I would have messaged you about it, and I bet
that's great. Me. That's great and all, but it's not retweeted. It's not commented on. It doesn't get people angry. I literally posted my docs on Twitter in hope that Twitch would fucking figure it out and ban the person, because I knew nothing better was going to happen. They're going to continue digging. They're going to continue getting more personal information.
Well,
they were continue to push.
Whether or not you have a bigger voice than others, right? Those that are large content creators, of course, are going to.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yes,
Dylan.
As a small content creator, I can go onto Twitch and make these wild claims, and then and nothing will happen. I'm a woman. It's fine. Nothing's gonna fucking happen.
Dylan Burns and Supreme are the two people that I consider helped me out when I was doxxed to give it a death threat. They tried to publicize my tweet as much as they possibly could. They fucking raided me when I was low on support. These are two fucking that was only the second time, right? So these are the two fucking people there's multiple tens of streamers that I know, and the idea that even they couldn't get this to go popular enough for Elder to see it. Elder, do you follow Dylan Burns and do you follow Supreme on Twitter?
Yeah, actually Supreme was one of the people that reached out to me when I was going through a really, really rough thing recently.
And still he didn't see it.
Can I interject for a second? So Sprouticus, I feel for you. I really do. I'm sorry that actually happened to you and that people overlooked it. I never heard about it, and I'm very, very sorry that I really, really am sorry that happened to you. But if you think about it, and I'm sorry that there's a but in this, if you got doxxed twice and one time you got helped out, that's half of the time that you got helped out. Like, unfortunately, not everybody's going to jump to your defense. Had you reached out to a bunch of people, I'm sure we would have. Like, if you had sent me a DM, I probably would have. I know I would have retweeted it over and over again. You can ask anybody if you send it to my DM. I retweet it if you ask me to. Like, that's what we do as people. We reach out and we have to make sure that other people see it. You see that people aren't responding, you have to retweet it again. Like, I'm really sorry that that happened to you, but I think that there's an underlying issue as to why so many people didn't hear about it, regardless of who shared it.
This is where I say that it's my fault too. This is where I say it's Min's fault too, right? Because I thought that I would look weak if I reached out to people, right? I thought that it would be taken upon me in a negative light because of society, because of societal standards. I thought it'd be taken upon me in a negative light had I reached out to people asking for help. Because men don't get help. Men handle it themselves, right? That's the idea upon men.
I want to ask the panel then. Does anybody think that had he reached out? Does anybody think that had he reached out to anyone? I know we've never met before, but to anybody that knows him, if he had reached out to you saying, "Yo, times are tough right now. I got doxxed," do you think he would be weak?
No.
Raise your hand if you think he would. Fuck off, Alex.
I would have doxed him double.
No, but I do think that actually a lot of people, like, again, like, it depends on the person you're talking about here. Like, because some content creators don't give a shit. Some people are like, well, that's the nature of the game. Some people take it really, really seriously. And it is really fucking serious. I'm very much on that side. But the point is, like, when we're talking about, like, the question of, like, it getting picked up, generally, depending on people's size, and this is also, like, this isn't just a gender thing. This is also, like, political orientation, who you network with. But yeah, it is harder for guys to get this sort of shit kicked up a fuss about. When shit happened with Keffels, like, there was a huge amount of outpouring, and that's not just because of, like, Keffels' gender or sex or anything else. It's because of, like, partly the communities she's involved in, like, what's going on around her at the time, and because of, like, other people's political campaigns or, like, hatreds of, like, a particular site. So, like, I don't think it's a simple one, but I will say that generally speaking, when, like, those kind of attacks happen to women, and it's very obvious it can be a threat, it gets picked up in a way that's not quite the same. Like, and we can kind of see this with someone like the lab stuff, when, like, DK from Chud's community got, like, clipped from Spicy Chat saying something about Lab's docs. It got treated like DK was saying that, like, oh, this is an actual death threat and everything else. Meanwhile, Lab is talking to people in the Groiper community and no one gives a shit. So, like, there is a different standard there to how people react. And again, I don't think that's wholly gendered.
Bullshit.
Yeah, can I actually interject?
Sorry, Smeth. Go on.
Like, you can talk to whoever the fuck you want to, and like, you know, making threats about dogs is different. Like DK fucking tweets about her husband just to freak her out because her husband's not a public figure and he wants to mix her personal life. Like, that's just extreme harassment and inappropriate. And she does not do that. She talks to people that you think are crazy.
Can we not make this a lab panel, please? For the love of God, I don't want to make this a lab panel.
I don't give a fuck about that.
But the standards are still, like, different to how, like, people are going to respond to certain levels of threat and everything else. And that's, again, not a gendered thing, but depending on the stuff that's going on around it, right? So, like, it's not just, like, because everyone has investments in things, and therefore things get picked up in the social media circles in very different way, depending on what camps people are in.
Right. I wanted to say, like, the matter of the fact is, like, nobody can really actually help you. Like, you get doxxed, there's no content creator and, like, no amount of, like, outpouring. It's just maybe it'll make you feel better, and maybe it'll help you grow, which is something that women are able to, like, weaponize or utilize their victimhood and to grow where men aren't. But that I disagree. It's actually not gonna like stop the problem. Like,
I disagree. If there's enough, if there's enough outpour, if there's enough rage, Twitch will do something about it.
Twitch multiple times. To get that, like, Twitch will do something about it. Like, you're gonna have to be, like, a really big streamer for that. Like, otherwise, fuck no.
Okay. One of my first, so I think my 4th month in, I had a huge streamer from you. Well, not a huge streamer, but got about, like, 600 views per live stream. Come into my chat, where I had, like, 4 or 5 actual people that were there for me and hate raid me. All right. And I told people who were live, friends of mine, that it was happening. None of them did shit about it. I'm a woman. I told men. I tweeted it out. Nobody gave a fuck about it. does not matter if you're a man or a woman. It matters the size of your channel and who you can get on your side. Regardless of whether you have Dylan or whoever, they're not that large. They're not that big. So you can have 600 views and 20 people respond to something that you post, or one person responds to how you post. It doesn't matter. It's literally the fucking luck of the draw. Some people somehow get Charlie from Moist Critical to somehow stream their shit, and they've never streamed more than 5 people in their fucking entire lives. It's all the fucking luck of the draw to who you come by. But to sit and say that it's all about whether you're a woman or male, nobody did shit for me. I was a tiny little creator, and I had people that were supposed to be on my side, and nobody gave a fucking shit about it. Not one damn person did a thing.
Ginger, I'm sorry about that. I would like to at least respond to that. Ginger, I'm sorry about that. If you would have reached out to me, I would have done something. I would have. I've got a small audience, but I would have done something. But
that's what I mean, Sprouticus, though, is that you and I would have done something for each other. The few people on this panel would have done something for each other, but we don't know until we reach out to those people, do we?
Right. Also, the simple idea, though, that, and I am applying this societally because I believe society holds over. Right. I got my views from society. I got my views that if I reached out, I was gonna be weak from society. Maybe you guys might not have seen that, but that's what I learned from society. That's what I learned as a kid. That if I reached out for help, I'm weak. That if I reached out for help, then I'm not really a man, right? That's what I learned from society.
What does that have to do with Twitch worse for women?
Because men don't get the support. They don't reach out for it. They don't. It's expected of them. It's expected. Yes, I'm not saying this is a women issue. I've said this 5 times so far, and evidently it's not gotten through anyone yet.
Can I jump in?
I'm not saying this is a women's issue.
No,
I'm saying this is a societal issue that's affecting men.
Okay,
right. Men should reach out. Got it.
I just want to say, okay, so I agree that you are not saying that this is an issue created by women necessarily, but I think there's an incorrect assumption here that by being a woman, you will automatically get more support. When really, in reality, if you're getting hate rated, the best you can do is have some good moderators in the chat, do your best to, deal with it in the moment and not react to it as a content creator. But, at the end of the day, that there is an incorrect assumption there. Am I going to disagree with you in that, the way that society conditions men to handle their problems and not reach out for help is bad? No, I won't disagree with you at all there, right? It's really, really unhealthy for men that the way that we condition them to not seek out help, to not seek out support. And we even see this reflected in the way that men actually end up dying on average 10 years earlier than women because they are so fucking bad at seeking out preventative medical care. Right? There is a real fucking issue there. But I again think that we can talk about changing attitudes for men and the way that they handle things in society, and I think we should. But I think there are a few incorrect assumptions here. I'm not going to disagree that women do have some benefits in the online sphere. They 100% do. But the assumption that women are automatically supported is not true. The one time I got support from when the Keffels thing was happening, the only reason I got support was because a larger male content creator, and it probably isn't because he's a male, but a larger content creator, much larger than me, was getting harassed by the same person.
Okay.
Can I just jump in real quick? Yeah.
The idea. Can I please respond? If I let everyone respond to me and then I try to do everyone's response at once, it's not
going to be hard. Can we move on to the next fucking topic?
Well, Smeth,
you've been taking a lot of the time to speak.
Go to therapy.
You know what? Then go ahead. Go ahead. Go.
I just
go.
wanna
Talk
say-
about it.
Smith isn't
Talk,
wrong
go.
in what he's saying. I have a problem with so much of the conversation that we've been having for like the fucking past 15 or 20 minutes. The problem that you've described sounds so much bigger than what we can discuss right now. And you shouldn't count on anyone in here to help you out beyond the fucking retweet. If I find out that you've been doxxed, I'll speak out against doxing as I would usually, but I'm not going to DM you
I only
about
brought
it.
that
We
up in
don't
the
have
past
that kind of a
15 minutes.
relationship.
I've talked about how men don't get
I
support.
understand that, but the point is that I have no power to help you, and I resent the image of being the kind of a person who gets in touch with you to show support, not because I give a fuck about you, but just so that I can feel like a better person. If you have someone unhinged enough coming after you that they have managed to dox you, me getting personally invested into the situation with my 11 viewers isn't going to solve your issue, but it's going to increase my own odds of getting doxed. Why the fuck would I ever be expected to take that kind of a risk? You need therapy, not a VTuber in your DMs.
So again, support is going to help. I'm gonna bring up the link that I initially had.
We agree. Support will help.
Okay. I understand you agree, Smeth, but
Who
obviously
disagrees?
there's other people who disagree
disagrees?
because they
Who
keep coming
disagrees?
after me.
I agree
So
that
according to
everybody- I
Barchester,
agree.
Someone
mental
raise
health
their hand if you
hospitals and
disagree.
complex care centers.
If nobody
men
raises
more
their hand,
likely
we'll
to
move
shut off
on.
emotional support by 2 times. So maybe there's 1/3, right,
Okay.
of the issue with women, but the 2/3 of the issue is with men, right, with emotional support, right?
Okay, so
And
does
this is
anybody disagree?
extremely
Raise your
important
hand
when
right
you-
now.
When regards to
Everybody raise your hand if you agree.
no one's going to say they disagree when I bring that up, right? No one's going
Yeah.
to say they disagree.
Okay, then.
Disagree
Well,
with
then
what?
nobody disagrees.
Well, then why do they keep responding to me? Why do I have to keep responding to people?
I don't know.
Wait, I'm talking
Okay, then
about-
someone disagrees.
No.
I'm talking about society as a whole. I don't understand. I didn't hear what you just said, Sprouticus. I don't.
I
think
know
I've
you
ever,
didn't. He was
like,
talking over me.
Okay, so I don't think I disagree with a lot of the things that you're saying. I've agreed with you several times throughout this thing, right? The only contention that I have is that there are specific like assumptions that I see being made that aren't necessarily true, but on a whole, on average in society, are men taught to not seek out support? 100%. I agree with you on that. I just think that like when we look at specific spheres, it's a little bit different.
Okay. I mean, I just think society pulls over to this. I think that's a major issue that's not being looked at. And that's majorly why I jumped. That's majorly why I jumped on the chance to be on this panel. And I feel like if people were just agreeing with me, then I would be. Then my point would be left in the dust, and people would be like, "Yeah, we agree, but let's move on." But
But
I've
people are
continued to be
you're
responded
speaking
to.
in such
Let me
a
just-
charged,
just a
emotionally
second,
charged way.
just-
It
just-
demands a
just-
response.
Okay, so again, I think I've like agreed like 100.
No, I agree.
times.
I agree. I agree. You have agreed. I agree. You have agreed, and I'm not saying that against your previous statement. Like I said, there's probably 1/3 that are female, but to that 1/3, there's 2/3 that are men. So like
wait,
I'm
I don't
not saying
understand.
this is an issue. I'm not saying this is an issue. I'm not saying you don't agree. What I am saying is that men, because of this reason, because there's a study that says that men are 2/3 more likely to, 2 times more likely to experience a lack of emotional support. That is an issue that pertains across
100%.
all society. That's
Right.
also an issue that pertains
That's an issue.
across
Right.
Twitch.
We've agreed.
Wait a minute. Wait. Let me say. Okay, I will agree with you across all society that it's an issue, but I will also say that the internet was like the Wild West, and still in many ways is. And so that is the only thing that I would say is a difference. But yes, female-based communities are generally better at giving each other support versus male-based communities.
Yeah, the thing we were you fucking asshole, the thing we were disagreeing about was the effectiveness of smaller people like fucking helping you like by retweeting your shit, because that's fucking stupid. We weren't disagreeing with your shit about males.
That's not even a thing. I brought that up in the past 20 minutes. So
Okay.
if you want to talk about the last 40 minutes of that conversation, sure. The last 20
you
minutes has
brought
been
it up.
useless. Talk about something else.
The reason you keep saying the reason why he said this is because you said that people keep responding to you. to me. People keep responding to me. Well, you keep bringing up different things, like the whole, oh, well, my tweet didn't get retweeted, didn't get any attention, it didn't get picked up whenever I got doxxed. So
Sure, I brought up a personal situation.
So we came back in response to something like that to say, hey, it's not just you. You're not alone in this fight, okay?
But we haven't been talking about a personal situation.
That is why we're saying we agree with what you're saying, the foundation of what you're saying, that across society, men lack support. We agree with you on that. We're not disagreeing with
Congratulations.
you. Now we want to move the conversation on.
How many times have I said move the conversation?
I want to hear what the guy like Satan, dressed like Satan, has to say. Like, speaksy. Like, listen. Thanks for joining us from the depths of hell. What have you got to contribute?
To add, because I kind of missed where you guys were. I was watching earlier, and I kind of missed where you guys were. But like to add to what you just said, like men are more likely to not even want to seek out help because we're more dominant because we're men. That's just how it goes.
We got it.
Nice.
Then move on.
Evan, we're joined by Evan. What is the IRA's opinion on this?
Obviously, women are very emotional creatures, as we all know. And men like to. We have this way of keeping ourselves locked up. Yes, we lock up our emotions because we were always built to be stronger, to protect people and all that shit. And that's something that's been ingrained in us throughout ages. But as we've seen, as we've gotten further into this shit, men have become more emotional, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. But the fact that instead of actually helping them, they are then shut down by both sides and then treated as completely fucking opposite. Which is fucking retarded because all you're doing is adding more people that are going to end up on the suicide watch list. And honestly, which one of you was talking about being fucking hate rated? Which one of you said that? Okay, lady, there's a thing called fucking sub-only mode. There's a thing called emo-only mode.
That's
Do you not
exactly
know
what
these
I
things?
did. That's actually exactly what I did.
Wait.
Let me respond to that. Please let me respond to that. Okay, because this is something I've been wanting to say.
Please let me respond to it because he literally asked me. First of all, I wasn't complaining about it. I was using it as an example as to why it happens to everybody.
So use an example of something that you.
The person that was complaining was SprouticUs, by the way. The person that was complaining was SprouticUs.
I was bringing up a personal example as an example. It wasn't a complaint. I was saying this is what's happening. Okay, Smeth.
What I want to say. Okay, so you're saying you're just gonna dismiss her. And you're gonna be like, well, you could have used sub-only mode. Okay, so when we're talking,
I'm not dismissing Ginger.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Shut up.
Not you, Sprouts.
So earlier, this like Beckett also said like women respond to it and makes this happen. We're like, well, when this happens to you, you can use sub-only mode. But then when we talk about men and how men respond inappropriately, how like when a man doesn't reach out to people, we don't have this accusatory attitude. We're like, well, you fucking retard, you should have reached out to people. Why? You could have fucking handled it better. It's your fucking fault. We don't do that to women. To men.
Is that literally what you've done to me? Is that literally what's happening with your 20 fucking minutes?
30 minutes. Hold on. Stop. Because that was my point. Like, again, you don't have to take what I've said as like the perfect solution. All I'm giving you is what happens in the media landscape. And that's universal.
Okay.
But like if you and I've said this before, if we want something better, and I think we all do, I'm fine with that. But at the same time, like, yeah, when like I don't know, this is so focused on Sprout shit, and I know that like Alexa wants to tie up in a minute. Can we just get fuck it. No more talking about Sprout doxing on men.
Thank you.
From the women on the panel.
Nobody's talking about it now, Beckett. You've brought it up.
Actually, Miss Mili, please, because you have responded to points, and I feel like thank God you've taken off the tuna chip like cosplay. Can you give us like an honest take on how you feel?
On regarding
on how women are treated. Do you think like aside from the threats and harassment, actually, let's talk about like actually getting involved in panels quickly.
Yeah.
Do you think that if women find it hardest to get their voice out?
I'm just going to give my response. I'm going to give my response to the very initial question. I think women have it difficult in different ways. Men also have it difficult, but women have it in a much more sexual harassment, sense of difficult with regarding everything. So we get a lot more objectification, sexual harassment. Hell, I even had one guy that reached out personally to me and was like, I want to steal you away from your husband. I'm gonna find out where you live. I'll take you and your kids away. Don't worry, baby, I'll treat you better. So yeah, women definitely get treated like shit. But yeah, do men as well? Can I acknowledge that? 100%. But I think that the sexual harassment is so prominent that it affects personal lives regarding women that I do think it's important for us to talk about.
And I think if I can, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off before you're done. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I ask a question first before when that's done?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Mili finish.
Well, I want to let them finish. I just want to ask a question next.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to be very clear. Who disagrees with the following statement? Raise your hand. There are a lot of women's issues and men's issues that seem to take different forms, and women and men probably have it almost give or take equally hard, just in completely different forms when it comes to these things.
Equally as hard as you said?
Give or take.
I'm gonna have to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
agree
have
with
to
that.
say no as well, but I think it's irrelevant. I think even my opinion about who has it harder is irrelevant, really. I wanted to add to Mili's point that we have to, like, the reason why there's a problem in trying to compare all of society and the way, to the online sphere is because in a lot of these online spheres, it is male dominated. And male audience members will empathize less with you as a female. It's just kind of what it is. You kind of get used to it, right? So you get like dehumanized pretty often, a little bit more. And I don't think it's accurate to be to say that like that the way that society reflects is the same way that online groups really reflect. It's just not.
Well, I actually, when you say it does though, because like you're saying there's not really like a comparison. So like women will get like I don't know her name that mentioned this earlier, but you say women will get like more sexually objectified, but like men will face more like threats of violence, and actually
I
like
don't think that's even true.
probably
I think
more likely to be carried out with violence.
I mean,
The
I
whole
feel
whataboutism here is dog shit, though. It's just it's bringing us back to the part of the conversation where we're doing fucking oppression Olympics about who has it worse and who has it better and who has to face different this particular type of violence. It's wholly fucking irrelevant. And I understand
because
that
you
we're
might
enough of this.
Well, it is
Which
fair.
got a
It is fair.
movement.
I
It is
understand
fair
that
what
we're
he's
moving
saying that
off
it's
of
the name
this
of
a
the
little
panel.
bit.
It is. It is.
Which
the name of the
got a
panel.
movement? Men or women?
The only reason I wanted to bring that up is because I feel like it's something that we don't bring up often enough in a lot of these online spaces, and most of these online spaces, it is male dominated, and as a result, if you are a female content creator, people do empathize with you less. That is just kind of like the, I just felt like that it's an important point to put out there.
5 more minutes and we'll wrap it up.
I just want to ask Stardust, when you say though it's more male dominated because like males don't have it as easy to make it big in the online space, like they have to offer more resources and women can just offer attractions.
I don't think that's what I'm saying, right? There are more male users in general online because there are more men into gaming, right? And I don't think that means that it is necessarily that there are I don't know that really reflects in the content creation side the same way that you're thinking. Yes, women have an wait. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead, sweetheart. Go ahead.
Yeah. Women again have a higher floor. I will agree with that. Women have a higher floor, especially if they're attractive. But at the same time, even if they have an easier starting point, they have an easier way to grow an audience from the beginning. They still have generally audiences that do not empathize with them in the same way.
I think a lot of men want to empathize with women, and so they'll but then they'll try, but their hatred of women just takes it over. Like you said, there's a thin line between like a man like supporting you and a man just exactly. Like I think that
especially psychotically loving you and psychotically hating you. I've had like two like online friendships where I thought these are people who were supportive of me turned into like people who ended up like it seemed virulently hating me. So I mean, the line is very thin there. So,
I mean, to be fair, that can happen anywhere. You trust the wrong people. You trust the wrong people. I can say from like a newer streamer's perspective of being a female, I have seen from my perspective that I've had an easier time gaining an audience and maintaining an audience from my male counterparts who started either before I did or around the same time I did, who weren't able to maintain or continue to grow their viewership. I feel like a lot of that has to do with having a following previous, but it also has to do with the fact that I am female. I'm not going to negate that by any means.
I don't like what happened earlier with the phrasing that like, yeah, women just get more emotional and men were like these stoic beasts, and that's kind of how it goes. Like, can we just take a second to like just fucking touch grass on this? Men are just as emotional as women are. It's just that for some reason Red Pill has fucking deluded us into believing that anger isn't an emotion that is being displayed. That's why crazy girlfriend stories end up with your clothes being burnt and crazy boyfriend stories end up in fucking homicide.
It's not red pills. It's society. It's not red pills. It's society. Society has built this up upon decades, upon decades, upon decades. How many times have you heard? How many times? Stop. I'm not saying this isn't a man issue. I'm not saying men haven't caused this. I'm not saying men have. I'm not saying men don't have a hand in this. But men are not allowed to cry. That's fair. That's simple. Men are not allowed to cry. According to societal standards, men are not allowed to cry. There's two major emotions that men can show. That's happiness and that's anger. Because anger is seen as a manly emotion via society. But any other emotion that you might have as a man.
And women are allowed to get women are not allowed to get angry.
Who made the rules? Who made the rules?
They
for
are.
Society?
The whole idea is that women are allowed to hit you and not allowed to hit back. That's literally society based.
Yeah, I agree. That's society based.
I mean,
there's a lot of shit that's society based that has been like taught down by generation after generation that men have had to fucking put up with and deal with and not allowed to output these emotions, such as anger.
Think there's a reason for that? You don't think there's a reason that you're told not to hit women back?
Okay,
I believe in equal rights, equal fights. I will smack a woman.
Okay, when a woman cries,
but here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Men should be allowed to show emotions. I feel like we've gotten to a point to where women are allowed to show anger. Societally, I feel like women are allowed to show anger. I don't feel like that's an issue anymore, or at least not at the same rate that men showing sadness is.
Yeah,
men showing like depression is.
I want to explain so when women cry, people don't actually so women aren't allowed to feel sad. When women cry, the reason that's a big oh my god, we need to wake up call. So a woman's crying is because we need to stop her from crying. And a woman's angry, we need to stop her from being angry. It's not that we want to we allow men to be angry, but we don't allow women to be angry. We don't allow women to be sad. Like when they have negative emotions, everybody freaks out and thinks they have to stop it. And that's why people will go and be supportive, but it's not because they're supportive. It's not supportiveness out of actually like a healthy it's because they want the woman. People cannot stand a woman being sad or angry.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
It is true.
Where the fuck did you get that from?
People from being sad. That's called empathy. That's called people actually having a connection, being like, oh, this person's upset. I want to help them feel better. That's not like whatever the fuck you're trying to call it. That is fucking outlandishly stupid. I'm sorry.
You just said what I said and then dismissed it, but I
the
think
reason we've survived is because we protected women. So this is why men feel a way when they see women cry. Don't you understand that?
Yes, 100%. You're right.
From the dawn of time.
You're right. That's why it's like that. I agree.
It shouldn't matter if it's a man or a woman. If they're sad.
It's not hating women, but what I'm saying is
everything you said sounds like it's men hate women.
No. I guess men don't want men do not want women to be sad or angry, and men are allowed to be angry, and we don't actually allow women to be angry or sad. That's why we care so much when they cry. That's why we care so much.
No, it's not.
We don't allow. We care because we feel like we need to protect them now that they're crying. That's why we care. Yeah, but it's not about allow.
You want to? Yeah,
it's not like we don't allow them to be sad. It's like, how dare you be sad? Fuck you and your emotions. It's not that, right?
It's not that.
Smith, I think I do need to disagree with you on this point, right? Any time that I've gotten upset or cried or whatever, because I've cried on stream before. There's been emotional moments, and people have been there to support me, but they don't stop me because they're like, "Oh, well, she can't feel sad." Like I disagree.
Let me explain.
But this is anecdotal. But so
maybe I'll change your mind. The way I mean that is so like when a woman is crying, like just like Speakeasy said, like the response society has is we need to fix this. This is a problem. It's a problem that you're crying. We need to solve this problem.
But no, I did not.
Is it always a problem when someone cries?
Maybe you didn't say that, but that's what.
Why is someone crying unless it's a problem?
When you said that that men we're always like there to protect women and stuff. That's why it's like that. That's why I gleaned from that. But I guess you don't.
There's an inherent need to protect women when they see them crying. Yes.
Yeah. Like
because protecting women from the dawn of time is what made our society. Continue.
I agree with that. So when you say protect,
so why is this not allowing?
Yes.
This
so when
is
you
a
say
whole different.
Yes. So when you say protect, when you fucking say protect, when you say protect,
Matt,
what you mean
you're
is
peeking your mic and you're cutting out.
When you say protect, what you're saying is protect her from being sad. But if you actually care about her, you should allow her to be sad.
No, it's protect her from what's making her sad. Right. This is the problem. I don't know who taught you that, but you need to get that out of your head.
Her sadness is a problem. Her sadness is a problem you have to fix.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. The thing is when a woman is sad, a man feels a man feels that they should be able to take care of whatever issues behind that. A man feels that they should be able to protect their emotions and be able to address the situation. So when they're in a situation that makes them sad, right? A man feels that they should be able to protect them from whatever's making them sad. It's not they're not allowed to be sad. As a matter of fact, I tell my friends all the time, like, let me know when shit's going on. Come to me when shit's going on. Because I'm going to care. Because I'm going to give a fuck. Because I'm actually going to do something about it.
You don't understand the alternative I'm presenting whatsoever.
Guys, can I get just 1 second? 1 second, okay.
Please. When you go, closing this out. I don't give a fuck about this feeling conversation.
Okay.
Fuck feeling.
I just want to say we're having a disconnect again, right? Because while it is true, this is true for society as a whole. Look at trends on internet content creation. What people want out of you if you are a female online and they're trying to provoke you is to get you triggered, right? It is, and guess what? Triggering females again is like in content. Again, right? It was in for a little bit with the anti-SJW stuff. Now it is coming back in style with the manosphere booming and all of that, right? And whatever podcasts or whatever other podcasts there are, right? Triggering females is in. And so, yes, while society as a whole cares about females and cares about them being sad or being upset, content creation right now is centered around making women upset and dunking on them for it. Or at least that's what a lot of the trend is now. So I mean, I just think that there are some disconnections here. I don't think it's really one-to-one to compare like larger society that has sorry, let me finish. I didn't hear what you said, but let me finish. So I don't think it's really accurate to compare larger society one-to-one with the online sphere because there are very specific trends that you see happen online.
Can you send me whatever you pulled that from?
Yeah, cool. All right, we're done now. I don't know if I this conversation. All right. I'm Alexa's Political Shit Show. Thank you, Chris, for this god awful topic. Holy shit! I want to fucking leap off a bridge. In a video game.
In Minecraft.
Follow me. Yeah. Follow me on Twitter. Join my Discord. Discord.gg/political shit show. Okay, Sprout. Where can we find you in closing statements?
You can find me at twitter.com/TheSprouticus and twitch.tv/TheSprouticus.
All right, and closing statement.
I just feel that men are given the raw end of the deal. I feel that men are expected to go through things by themselves, which men refuse to let women do, by and large. I feel that there's a certain point in time, and a certain line that's drawn when men are upset that they're a bitch, and that they should be able to handle it themselves. This is what society carries out. It doesn't matter what podcast we have. It doesn't matter, what we have until society starts to change. And I think society needs to change that way. And so I feel that we're just lost without that, and I feel like it carries over to Twitch. I feel like society is what guides Twitch.
All right, Tama.
Hi, I am Tama of the Florin System. We are FaunaofFlora TV on Twitter and FaunaofFlora on Twitch. My take on all of this is there's going to be a lot of doomerism, and every side's going to say, well, one side probably has it objectively worse. The great equalizer when it comes to Twitch is ultimately networking. The people who fail to do this and fail to put their issues out there as much as possible to an obsessive degree are never going to succeed at getting their issues out there. Don't rely too much on anecdotal experiences of oppression. Look at the numbers, ask questions about why the numbers might be that way. That's it.
All right, Stardust.
Yeah. Again, I'm not going to dispute the fact that men have it, pretty bad in some ways within general society, and in unique ways within general society. But when we look at the online space, it is still a pretty male-dominated space, and it's been in for a long time. To make fun of women and dunk on them and get them triggered and get them upset. Went out of style for a little bit, and now it's coming back in style. And you can see that with like the swings in the way that content is put out and what type of content is put out and what goes viral. And so I think, while yes, we need to tackle society's issues and the way that they uniquely affect men and women, when we're talking about the online space, it is a different, it's just it's like a subculture, and it has its own unique problems. And honestly, right now, the best advice I can give to anybody is don't expect anybody to help you. Nobody gives a fuck. You're going to go through sagas, full-on sagas by yourself that nobody knows about. And people will think, oh, everybody pays attention to you because one thing out of like 50 things that you've been through got some attention. But the reality is nobody gives a fuck. You're there to deal with it on your own. Try to make a nice community that'll support you. Otherwise, don't rely on shit from other content creators.
And where can we find you?
You can find me. All my links are at links.fromstardust.net.
All right, speak easy.
Yeah. So I just I think overall, like, we face a very similar type of backlash, but because men have to provide a lot of resource to actually make it big, and women can have the easier in, so they'll face more backlash about their attraction, and men will face more backlash about what they're actually putting out. So I feel like they face almost a similar type of backlash, but men just deal with it differently. So I feel like it's very similar on how hard it is on men and women in the online spaces. I just think this is and when we talk about it being male dominated, I think it just comes down to the interests, and this is why online spaces dominated by men. But yeah, that's my wrap up of that. And my name's Speakeasy, and my channel is Escape with Speakeasy on YouTube.
All right, Smeth.
I'm RealSmeth. You can find me on YouTube, RealSmeth. Women clearly have it worse, and they also have it better. They have best of both worlds. They get better and they get worse. Nobody cares about men. Everybody cares about women, and everybody hates women. And I would like to be loved and hated, but I don't think that just because I would desire that doesn't mean it's actually better for me. So that's what I have to say. Follow me on YouTube.
Miss Mili. Yep. All right. Mili.
Hi, I'm Miss Mili. I think this whole conversation delved into some crazy anecdotal bullshit, but regardless, we can have understanding that each gender is going to have its problems. We can stop sitting here and trying to compare our problems and trying to feel like ours are bigger than the other. And we just have a little bit more compassion and empathy towards the other person and try and figure shit out. You can find me on Twitch, Miss_Mili. That's it.
Alrighty. Ginger.
You can find me at GingerRamoth, twitch.tv/GingerRamoth, and you can find me on Twitter at the same thing. My take on this is that I don't think that women have it harder in the Twitch sphere. I don't think that men have it harder either. I think that we both have our own battles that we have to cross to be able to get higher. We're all facing kind of the same demons, but in our own right. That's it.
And the man whose fault this is, KrysSpeaks.
Hi. Yeah, I don't buy a lot that was said during this panel anymore. I agree 100% with the societal issues that men face that were brought up. On a personal level, I feel like no solid prescriptions were being given. I was an alt-right incel, and going into adulthood, I've cultivated the kinds of close friendships that will support me when/if I break down mentally. If you want the same, then you need to push against the mainstream framing of bulldoze past your feelings, and it will be an uphill battle to fight, but that fight is still much preferred to fucking killing yourself after 20 years of bottling down your emotions. Also, because I came at this panel with the perspective of wanting to talk about the sexism that women face in these spaces specifically, here are kind of my thoughts just to wrap this up. I believe that we should chill with the ironic sexism as content creators in particular. We should chill with the Kuma emotes spamming our chat when a woman is on. We should chill with showing surface level support because we're hoping to see a tit in DM. And honestly, all of that just makes the space unfriendly for women. It makes the people that take part in these spaces get weird fucking ideas about how to treat women. And being in spaces like that just feels dog shit across the board. My name is Krys. I go by KrysSpeaks on Twitch. Krys is spelled Krys. I talk about social issues, relationships, sex life, and generally, I try and give my perspective on how not to go through life as an asocial fuck up. I'm not really trying to sell a lifestyle. I don't think I have all the answers, but I go through life pretty satisfied, and I wish more of you did too. So yeah, thank you for having me on, Alexa.
If you hate this panel, blame Krys. This is all his fault. The reminder, blame him. All right, Evan.
I'm Evan. To wrap up my perspective, it's ironic that women have fought for equal rights for so long. Yet, when we try to apply the same standards to them, a lot of them complain. But I do think there are some women out there who do, want to make things better and are actually taking, the correct societal steps. And hopefully we can all hold hands and be happy, joyous, and all that gay shit. Where you can find me, there's 3 places you can find me. One is on my Twitter at RealEvanDoThings1. Do not go there if you are afraid of porn, horrible political takes, or just stupid fucking jokes. You can find me on my YouTube channel, RealEvanDoThings, where I just game, and you can find me inside Beckett's head because I keep him awake at night with my retarded gremlin antics.
All right, and Beckett.
Oh, fucking hell. Thanks, I guess, for having me on, Alexa. Beckett, you can find me at Beckett of Crabs, all one word. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all the random places. I do a variety of random shit. Closing statements. My position's changed. You know who has it worse? than anyone is the audience. I feel sorry for the audience. I have had so many comments in chat and so many fucking DMs from other streamers during this fucking panel being like, what the fuck is going on? Why are we doing this brain rot? And if you want a prescription, can we just stop doing this? It's fucking awful. But thanks very much. I love you all. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I thought it was
follow
great.
Me on Twitter. Yeah, follow me on Twitter. Join my Discord. Get the fuck out of my VC.
All right. Bye bye.
Okay.
Bye everybody. Well, 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 well. Want to hear it sounds like if I take a gulp of water with my mic touching my throat? It's right there. Okay. Now I will go back to editing my video I'm working on. And it will come out and you will see it. And I hope you like it. It's going to be called the Destiny Report. Until then, I might have a few streams, and eventually, when I'm done with that project, I'm going to be focused on making some of my own more focused streams. I'm doing a lot of panels. I've seen some people complain. I'm going to do more one-on-ones about more specific topics. I'm talking to more like people, researchers, and just specific people about specific issues. Yeah, actually, something I was thinking of doing. I want to have a panel of women to talk about men's issues and see what happens, see what they have to say. What do women have to say about men's issues? Because I'm willing to bet that if you get a panel of women to talk about men's issues, they're actually going, they might not get it totally right, but they're actually going to talk about men's issues, and then they're not going to make it about themselves. Whereas if you had a panel of men to talk about women's issues, it's going to become about men's issues somehow. That would be an interesting experiment. And I'm going to stare at the camera, and then I'm going to eventually press the stop streaming button so that the stream can catch up. And I will exit the stream and from your brain. I'll exit the square that your eyes are glued to and free you